I've got.
Why don't we get started right on time? Are our judges available tonight?
They're here. They've been here.
Okay, good. I need a bigger monitor, I guess, to fit.
Oops.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Fortunately for you, I don't have much to say tonight. So I'll hand it over to our new member coordinator. Is there anything, Jennifer, you need to tell us?
No action this week. Our most recent new members is here, Mark.
Good.
Welcome, Mark.
How about Tricia? Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, one thing is Joel's having trouble getting in because the password's incorrect, and I'm not sure what the workaround is. So that's one thing.
Well, I found that problem too, and I went to the link and clicked on the link, and it brought me right in.
Click
I
on
got in with the password. After I copied it wrong the first time, I tried it again and got in. So
I just sent it out again a few minutes ago. The same email with the right password.
I'll just let you know that June 20th and 21st, we're going to have a shelter-in-place field trip, tabletop shots, create a scene or a still life, and the only restriction is it has to be shot indoors on a tabletop.
You just put on the competition.
That sounds good. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, I think it will be. And then
Bill sent out two, an early one and a late one. And
Late one has the right password. Probably helps.
I'll tell him right now.
Here comes Joel.
then there's a couple more, but I'll send out emails about them.
Okay, thank you, Tricia.
You're welcome.
Anybody
Tricia, could you
else?
send one to Greg Page?
What?
Could you send one to Greg Page?
an email to Greg.
Greg.
No, I'm talking about field trips.
Oh, I was talking about getting into the,
Yeah, Bill just sent the new password.
okay, Bill just sent the new password.
Betsy might have something on program.
Yeah.
Here comes Elizabeth.
All right, where's Betsy? There she is.
Everybody's unmuted, so you can just talk.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
I have one addition. We broke the record. We had 8 people sending their stuff in for critique.
Oh,
Great.
very nice.
Fantastic.
Good.
Great.
Great.
I couldn't hear Betsy. Are you there, Betsy?
Somehow, okay, here I am. Somehow I got muted at any rate. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Presenter 2 weeks from tonight is a friend of mine. Her name is Karen Schuneman, and she lives in the LA area. She's an award-winning nature and wildlife photographer. I'll send out her website tomorrow really quick, wildernessatheart.com. She has a piece hanging at the London Natural History Museum where she won a highly commended award. It's just absolutely beautiful. She's also been recognized by Audubon magazine and has had one of her top 5 images in their national contest. So again, I'll send out more information tomorrow, but I guarantee you're going to want to be there for this one.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Betsy. Betsy looks like she just got a haircut. It's beautiful.
I did. I highly recommend it.
All right, unless there's anybody else needs to say something. Bill, you want to get us started?
Rick, I think you had something you wanted to cover.
yeah, I sent out an email to all the club members, which I hope everybody got, but it was in regards to not having an identifying mark on your entries. We had a few this time, and we have in the past had copyright information and whatnot. And so we allowed people to take them off this time, but in the future, it's going to be a disqualification. So my suggestion is after you upload an image, check on the image. I always do that just to make sure the image is right and get a look at the title again and make sure that, or hopefully make sure that it's spelled right, that if it's a sequence, it's done right. So if you check your image and see a copyright or your name, take it out and put it back in. But we won't be doing that in the future after the comp closes.
Thank you very much
Okay.
for your help.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, our judges tonight are the Silvermans, I think, as you all know.
Excuse me, Bill.
Sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a question of Rick. You know, we submit comp photos, and then there's a period of time where you can change the title.
Yeah, you can change the title or the photo for that up until the comp closes.
Got it. So it's kind of, instead of Friday at 12 p.m., you know, we can edit our titles, you know, on Monday, the following Monday.
No, you can edit everything up until the competition is closed. So Friday at 12 midnight. After that, you can't change anything unless the review committee looks and sees some obvious problem, and then we discuss it and possibly give the opportunity to change it. If you do have the opportunity to change it, I would get in touch with whoever it is, and we come up with a time, or a little bit of a time frame that works, and I'll open up that particular competition category, and the person can change the image or the title if we've decided that that's kosher, so to speak. But you know, you can change it anytime up until it closes. So
Understood.
a month or two to look at it before it closes.
I
Understood.
should mention with the Zoom meetings and with the judges to give their awards beforehand, this has put a lot of pressure on the competition team and Rick to have everything ready to go so the judges can go in and look at the images. So typically by Monday or Tuesday, we want to be able to look at all the final images at that time. That's put a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And with the being on Zoom, we're trying to do it a few days earlier than we would normally release the images to Steve.
Right. Okay, so as I was saying, our judges tonight are the Silvermans, husband and wife team in photography for many, many years. They're also honorary members of our club. They live here locally. They, as a team, photograph together. They give teachings together. They lead outings together. And tonight they're judging together. So with that, I'll turn it over to Susan and Neil.
Hey, thank you very much. Nice to see everybody. Are we muted? No, we're good. Can you hear us okay?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, this is great you're able to do this on Zoom. However, miss seeing everybody in real life, but so far everybody's well, and that's the most important thing. Congratulations on getting this organized. This Zoom thing is terrific, but it's nice that you can do it and keep all the energy going. So we really enjoyed the images we saw. They're beautiful as always. We always tell you all that your images are great, but they really are something that we really look forward to seeing and judging. And we hope that any suggestions we offer are not meant to be critical, but just is hopefully a suggestion for somebody to think about it and work on it the next time through. And as always, I like to say that photography is very subjective, and if it's something that you love, don't feel that there's a stab in your heart if somebody doesn't love your picture as much as you do, because it's really, we all want to do it for our own self-satisfaction and accomplishment. So having said that, we're ready to go.
All right.
Nope. Wrong screen.
Wrong screen, what do you see?
I'm seeing the thumbnail screen, not,
Thank you. Thank you. Bear with me, folks. First time, newbie.
Thank you for helping.
If you have two screens, you can get it wrong every time.
Bill, can I ask a question?
yeah, I can do it from my end if it doesn't work from your end.
How's that?
Nope.
No.
Still the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just a minute, and
In the meantime, can I ask a question? Oh, no, I guess.
Sure.
It's a screen. So do we go through and comment on each image and then at the end go through like we do in real life, or how does it work out?
exactly like a regular competition.
So we go
Go through each one.
to one
We
and
will, we will show the image. I will, Bill will read the title, and after he reads the title, you give your critique. If a sequence is coming up, he'll read the titles on each image in the sequence and go back to the first one.
okay, and then after we've finished the whole, all the categories, then we go back and say which are the winners?
I will announce the winners just like in a,
At the end.
Okay, at the end, okay.
and after you critique, two categories will have a 5 to 10 minute break in the middle.
Okay, good.
Okay, so, but I need to bring up the Zoom screen here, just, competition. One moment.
Is that better?
I have to get onto my Zoom screen and
Okay, one more question. Do we get to, no, because I don't want the makers revealed. You don't get to ask questions about the image, right, till the end?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
okay, are people seeing creative, the 5 images?
No.
No.
I think
No.
seeing the beautiful t-shirt.
Just,
Great t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
Oh, here comes something.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
okay, you're seeing it now?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and Bill, did you want to read the titles as I,
Yes, that sounds good.
okay, let's go. Creative B, 5 images. Oops, I got to switch back to my other window, otherwise my control won't work. There we go.
You want to mute everybody else?
Does everyone else see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead, Bill.
Sunset, ICM.
And Susan?
So are we going to go through them first or then we comment now?
Go ahead and comment now.
Okay, all right. Because I used to remember the preview in real life. So we like this image a lot. It's beautiful. What do you think of slow shutter speed and some movement, which we're really kind of getting into ourselves. But wonderful colors, and yeah, I thought it was a really, really interesting and a nice way.
I love the
to see the
transition
sunset.
into the magenta too.
Yeah,
The horizontal.
the color tones carried through really well. ICM, I don't understand. Truthfully, if I'm going to comment, I might have comments on titles. Personally, the ICM kind of threw me off, but Sunset's fine.
Maker might want to try using their stabilizer. I'm just kidding.
Bad, bad joke. Sorry.
Just kidding.
No, his humor hasn't disappeared with the virus, unfortunately.
I hope he didn't get it.
That was humor?
His humor, he said, person maker might want to try using their
Stabilization.
stabilizer, their image stabilizer.
Never mind,
Bad
never
joke.
mind, never mind.
Move along.
You have to explain it.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a nice abstract image and the colors are very, very critical
Colors
here.
carried through beautifully.
Next.
Whoops.
Whole through the world.
So I think this is really on its way to something. I enjoyed it, but I was a little, personally, I think we were both a little distracted because our eye was going to the faucet and to the hole through to the world. And I think it's a great idea, but I think possibly for my taste, if it was just the fence with a hole through it or whatever imposed on it. My mind and my eye is going back and forth and I want it to stop and really stay with one place.
But it seems inconsistent with the hole in the fence to look through and then see it kind of sitting on top of it with the shadow. It didn't make a whole lot of sense.
But I like the idea. I think it's a great idea. I just think maybe if there was just a little bit more thought that way, I think it would be a stronger image. But I think it's a really good idea. And I don't know, and that's not too.
Okay. Next, Steve. Ballerina bird.
And I like this a lot. It's got a nice, I don't know, it looks like it's somebody's sidewalk or something, some kind of cement. I could be wrong, or tile, but I like it, and it is good for the maker for seeing the bird. Lighting's good. Interesting, liked it.
Next, Steve. Christmas lights, the interplay of exposure, movement, and a Christmas tree.
Really strong, and this is a great, unique way to see Christmas lights and a Christmas tree, and we both liked it a lot. Very, very nice, very bright, very good. I have nothing to suggest to make this.
So that's the last one in this group, correct?
Yes. One more.
Oh, one more, let's go.
One more is 4 of 5. Next. Paper flowers.
This was interesting to us. I again think, that red is so dominant, such a dominant, and it pulls your eye right to it. I personally think that this would be better if it had been a vertical, and you could have maybe cropped off the right-hand side with the red flower and the design behind it. Because again, I'm kind of being pulled over to the right, but I think about the flower is where the main interest would be. So
But it is good that they put the flower right in a PowerPoint position,
right.
right where the
Not centered.
tic-tac-toe lines
I just think
intersect.
it would be stronger if the right, because those lines are taking you out of the picture too. Those strong vertical kind of diagonal lines are pulling your eye away, and I think it would be stronger if those were eliminated. But it's a good idea. Whoever did it, it's interesting.
So can we go back a couple real quick just for a second?
What?
To the dancer? Yeah. So can I just make a couple of generalizations? Is it all right to do from a teaching standpoint now?
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay to do that from a teaching standpoint or not?
Or are we supposed to? Hello, Bill?
Sure.
So a couple things that just were general through all the images that we looked at, because we got to see, I've never had that before when we've judged at the club, but I've never seen the metadata before, and it was visible to us. Does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sure.
So I could see the metadata, and I saw things that didn't make a whole lot of sense in terms of somebody might have their ISO up to 1600, 2200, and then they're shooting at this very high speed. And maybe it was for a subject that didn't, it was a static subject. Some of the things didn't make sense in terms of the triangle of shutter speed, exposure, ISO type of thing. And so I just hope a lot of people in the club, especially in the lower beginning groups, that they start thinking a lot about that before they take the picture. I know one thing we do with people is we want them to know the shutter speed before they take the picture. And most people have taken their picture, but they don't know what shutter speed they took it at the time they took it. They might know afterward. It's just such a critical thing, and I saw it in so many of the pictures. Another thing is vignetting. Very few people are vignetting. But somebody mentioned Matt Kloskowski, who we teach with. We've taught workshops with him. He vignettes almost every single image, as do almost all the people in the Kelby group. So it's something just to start thinking about vignetting and making it so you can't tell it's vignetted. That's the trick. You don't want to see a dark edge or anything, but you want it to be so mild that no one can tell where the vignette is. But then if you went before and after, you would see how it impacts the subject, because you're bringing out the subject by doing that vignette. So I might point it out on a couple of things as we go, but it's almost generally across the board, not many people are doing it.
Okay.
Those are just a couple of things. One little thing is we saw sensor dirt on some of the images, and I think people just have to clean that up before you enter it in anything ever anywhere. Because if you make a print of that, the dirt's going to be on the print. So we weren't able to enlarge things to see, but I could see it even without enlarging it on some of them. So some of those pictures might not get as high a rating in the competition because they had things like that. But that's just general teaching stuff. So go ahead, let's go on.
Yeah, just a quick comment on your metadata. Some shots are done from phone cameras where no choice of speed and shutter is available.
Right, yeah, it shows me the camera too. I mean, I saw the camera every time.
Yeah. Anyway, creative A6 images.
Oh.
Doll with cattails.
All with cattails.
It's interesting. Very different than anything I've seen before. And
Did the subject like the picture?
yeah, but it's clever. Very, very different. Yeah, interesting. I don't really have. I wouldn't be able to make any other suggestions. I think that the maker achieved what they were trying to do.
I like the way they handled the background with the.
Did you get an email just came out?
The background is.
I like the way they handled the background with the light area.
Yeah.
That was very well done. And technically, this is quite nice, very nicely done technically. Okay, next.
We'll do it.
Stellar.
Steve, if you could take over the captions. It looks like Greg Peck's trying to get in.
Like, are you talking to us?
Steve.
Oh.
Interstellar.
Interstellar. Beautiful. Really.
So it has a lot of interest. It's got beautiful line flow from the bottom left coming in. It just all has a point of center interest. It's a great, it's nice. Really well done, well thought out.
Yeah, so what's your email address?
Should I get on my phone?
I think we need to mute the attendees mostly.
Yep, no criticism. I don't know.
One moment, I will
No, Susan, we just brought up the point about the things being cut off on the bottom, on the sides. It's very.
Just a moment, let me bring you back. Come on, unmute.
There, can you hear
There
now?
you go.
Can you hear us? Yeah,
You're back.
So all those things I said, I guess we were muted when that happened. So we were talking about that you don't have the full ends on the bottom, but those are cut off intentionally and very well done. And the one at the top right, there's enough space, and on the at 2 o'clock, enough space. So everything's well thought out here. It's just really well done. I love the colors. I love the textures, everything about it.
good. Next.
Oh, I gotta click one sec. Dancing tree.
Dancing tree. I like this. The one thing I would maybe like different is the title. Somehow the title for me doesn't go with the image. So that would be something that I would like to suggest. Maybe it'd be retitled. I think it's a really interesting image, and I think it's well done. I like the space. I like the empty space, and all the color, and I think it's just a really, really nice. But I would like a different title for it myself.
So on the one hand, I see it as the dancing tree, and I'm looking for the trees. And then I keep seeing part of a head and face at the top with shoulders coming down. So I don't know, the more you look at it, the more you see all kinds of things. It's a regular Rorschach test here.
It's almost like a painting.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Now you can go on.
That's okay. I just would like it retitled.
1927 Dodge Ram, A Rough Ride.
For sure.
This might have been done at Bodie, California, maybe. But there's one of those parked right there.
It's very good, very nice, very clever. I think, I guess that on the bottom is okay. Maybe not to have that white on the bottom, but it kind of anchors it. I don't know. I'm a big. It pulls your eye down. But.
So it's abstract, but can I point? I can't point, huh? You can't see my. Can you see my cursor? Anybody?
No.
If I'm moving my,
No.
Is there a way I can point on a picture?
No.
Okay. So from the top middle, coming down to the middle of the blue, you've got almost a vertical line. And I'm not sure that goes with the rest of it. I mean, there are curved lines in all kinds of places, but that's such a almost, I don't know, it's just so center. So I could say it bugs me.
Distinct.
You know, it just gets in the way because you've got all this waviness, and I can handle these other ones over on the side that aren't so direct in your face. But this is coming right down from the middle, so I don't quite understand that. But otherwise, it's very interesting, and it is well done. But I would take that out. And personally, the couple at the bottom of that line that I'm talking about, you've got that white area just to the right of it, and then you've got another one over to the left. Whatever they are, personally, I would just take those out because they're such distractions. I mean, I'm looking at the waviness, and then I go to these white dots and line. So it kind of gets in the way. But I think just doing a couple little touch-ups like that, it becomes a much stronger image.
What about the white at the bottom?
It's fine.
That's okay with you?
Sure.
See, I would like that white at the bottom gone. Not under the truck, but just the very bottom. Just
Yeah, if you take your hand and you eliminate that with your hand in front of your eyes, it's one less distraction in a way.
It's an eye pull for me.
Yeah.
something to think about. Okay, great. Next. Oh,
Angry monkey.
Definitely angry monkey.
that's good. It is an angry monkey, really sharp. The catch lights in the eyes to me are a little bit too much, just too. What do you say about those eyes?
That's a personal thing. The thing that distracts me the most is just the technical aspect of the edges of the monkey going into the black with all these, how do you call these areas? Transitional areas. I don't know. I don't quite understand that. It would really be nice if you could just see the fur or the hairs going right into the black, but that would take a little bit of work to do that, to make that selection and not have it fuzz out all this stuff.
Yeah, I see that. I'm just
What do you call that?
the transition.
Well,
It's kind of like a collar around.
Yeah, it just
almost.
looks like technically, I know from being in PPA and PPC and WPPI, they just don't allow any of that stuff. It gets a little fuzzy, blurry. And that's a different group and they're all professional, but I guess I'm biased just because I like to see a better selection of the hairs. Let's go on, next one.
Standing in solitude.
Yeah, this is pretty wonderful. I mean, it goes with the title, your eyes drawn right to it. I'm not sure what the deal is with the horizontal lines, I suppose. The vertical ones don't bother me at all, but then these intersections of the horizontals kind of defeat the whole thing, I think. Because everything is soft. It's all soft and ethereal other than the tree itself. And then you have these sharp lines.
So maybe they could be somehow
Well, they can be blended right in.
blended in, but yeah, we both really like this a lot. Like all the, I like the space, I like the empty space, very nice, well done.
So sometimes when we're in a situation like this with something like this and we're doing, and we look at each other and we talk about it, sometimes we just have two options and we do it the soft way, then the other way, you know, and then make up our minds. But it is good to have options, and there's nothing wrong with having 2 or 3 views of something the way you've done it. Let's go next.
Creative AA, 4 images.
I'm back, Steve. I can start reading the captions again. A little drop.
Beautiful, very nice. The little drop is not dead center, which of course is a plus. I like the gradation of the colors and that it's filled, all the corners are filled, nothing left wanting.
And whoever did this, I mean, it may have been handheld, it may have been very intentional to have it be on the soft side, but sometimes when you have like oil and water and you're doing these kinds of shots, which we've done a bunch of in our time, it can be a whole different thing to have it tack sharp with all the reflections, tack sharp and everything. And there isn't that much depth of field required here to do that. So that would be another option. So I'm not sure what they were thinking with the soft, but it has a place. I mean, I could see this on the wall of many offices, and it's something where you could sit and look at it forever and think about it. So it's quite nicely done. Go on, next. I love the colors.
Swan Alley.
Well, I've done a lot of shooting in that alley in Petaluma, but I didn't run into the swan. Man, I'm going to go there next time it rains, see if I can find him.
That's
well thought out, man. This is just a super idea.
a lot of work went into this too. Very good, very nice. No suggestions for anything. You?
No, but it's such a Petaluma thing. You've got the Schollenberger, you've got the bird from Schollenberger, and you've got, I mean, that alley is pretty a famous thing for photographers. If you guys haven't ever done that, if you ever have somebody go and photograph you or take a model in that alley, you'll come up with some of the greatest shots. It's really a fun place. Okay, go on. Next.
Hard time.
It's interesting. Definitely gets your attention. And it really,
It's intense.
it is intense. It really is. As is he.
I saw him at the protest last week.
It's very, it would have been nice maybe to have the bottom of his hand in, but that's probably being very picky that it's out off the edge like that. But it's amazing how sharp he is, his face and everything, and a really interesting image. You know what? Again, I'm funny about that, but a title, maybe a little bit more of a title, giving a little bit more of a sense of what's involved here, because it's I don't know, I just don't know what the story is behind it, and it does make me want to know. I mean, it's the kind of picture that you want to know.
It looks more like anger.
Yes, or competition of something. Is he angry? Is it competition? So I would like a little more revealing title.
And then Susan's point about the hand is a big one. We constantly see people cutting off feet all the time, and look at how much space there is above his head there. It's not like he couldn't have sacrificed a little bit to get the fingertips in there, to get the rest of the hand. Because hands are a big thing. I mean, especially in anybody modeling or having their picture taken, you just don't want to cut them off at weird places. So I hope that makes sense.
It's definitely an image, it's definitely an attention grabber. I just think I'd like a little bit more to know what the story is about.
Maybe when you're photographing people that are doing action or anything like that, maybe always give yourself a little more space. I know we teach to make everything as perfect in the camera as we can, but especially if you're hand holding, if you put a cross on the wall and you took 15 shots of that, you won't have 2 where they line up perfectly. You're moving, you're gonna be amazed. Almost all should go do that and just practice it, at least on hand holding. And even if you're dealing with a model and you're on a tripod, but they're a person that moves a little bit, you could have everything lined up and have it right where you think it's just right, and then you're cutting off something. So a little extra room just keeps that from happening. And then you have a choice whether you want to keep it in or crop it out or whatever when you go home. But that's a lot of extra room on the top. This one, the light on the eyes is just delicious. I love it.
Nice. Nicely done. Yep. Beautiful. No suggestions on this one.
Well, I got a little one.
What?
So almost every picture we've looked at has not had any vignetting that I was talking about. Almost every single picture is lacking some vignetting. I just want to point it out again because I think it's that important. And I was shy of doing it for a long time until I started seeing that all these big names were doing it all the time. And if you go to the art museum, every painting of a person or a scene has some vignetting. I mean, all the old artists, the old painters, man.
The old classic.
The old classics, they're all vignetted.
Yeah, that would help this, I think, too, even bring it up even to a better, just because then the face would really be dominating.
He's brighter, so your eye goes to him, but there's so much bright everywhere else. If you just had it just blend in. But when I say this vignetting, I really mean so the viewer cannot tell where the vignette is, where it starts and ends. That's so subtle. Okay, let's go on.
Creative Masters, 4 images.
Spring apple blooms.
Beautiful. Very nice.
You want that sharp?
Neil would like the B sharp. And I'm okay with it soft.
I mean, it's definitely painterly, and I think just the way it is would be perfect, especially on watercolor paper. I think it would be a major wall hanger. So I hope when you print this, you print it on watercolor paper. Okay, next.
Next, very nice.
And the placement of the bee, oh, that was really nice too.
2 of 4, book club.
Yeah, so this one's been flipped, twisted, and it's so interesting.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Can't say anything not nice about this.
Interesting.
It doesn't even need a vignette.
No. Okay. Very nice. Good.
Next. Japan's Aokigahara Forest.
Well, I'm not sure how this was all done. I love the place that it's done. I love the model. The amount of blur in the trees is a little bothersome. I would love more blur. It's sort of at that point that's a little uncomfortable. It's almost like you wanted it sharp, but it didn't get sharp. It's like that can happen in a handheld picture. Now, I don't know if she was placed in or how she came out as sharp as she is. I'm not sure how that was done. But I would.
What about if the trees were softer?
If Susan says the trees were softer, that's a possibility too. Yeah. And some of the very bright white parts of the tree could be toned down a little bit. I think they might be without any detail, which is something you definitely have to look at the histogram and see that. I don't think if you were, say, in Lightroom and you took your whites down and your highlights, I don't think these would bring any detail in them. I think they would just kind of turn gray. So the exposure probably just should come down a little bit. And then you can bring it up afterwards to where you want it. But if you're already too far up to begin with, there's no saving it.
There's some background noise people are hearing. Sounds like ping pong being played.
Just a second, I'll beat them up.
Or is that a clothes dryer?
Sorry.
I'll close the door.
I have to close the door, okay?
Okay.
Sorry.
Can you imagine hearing that from morning till night?
Our grandson hitting a tennis ball.
Okay.
Get better? Sorry.
Yes, much better. Krypton Continuum.
I think that last one it's such a great idea. I would love to see, maybe this could still be worked in some form with maybe even going into topaz or some of the different blur things that you could do, and just have it be a little more extreme on the trees. And I like that in the foreground, the brown orange areas that are real soft. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I love those.
It's like you're shooting through those grasses or whatever. So this is worth putting some more time into. I like the shot a lot. I love the idea. Go ahead, next.
Krypton Continuum.
Yeah, so interesting.
It is.
Super shot.
Yep.
This area, is this on my screen? Or is that? So if you go into the middle of it and you go to the upper V, is there like something not black in that area? It looks like it's on the shot. Is that just a technical thing? And along, on the one going from 11 o'clock down to the middle, at the bottom of that, that also is soft. Well, there's a couple other places like that. Yeah. Yeah. So that concerns me. It's just a, you know, in terms of technical excellence, it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And I don't think that would be that hard to do that. You guys see what I'm talking about? So I'm not talking to myself?
Well, we don't know. They're all muted.
Everybody's on mute, but I think I understand what you're saying.
Good. All right.
Okay, so you do see what I'm seeing? I mean, it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, and then there's also like a couple smudge marks in the upper quadrant on the right.
Yeah, those seem to be.
So I think that has to be polished up a little bit. Go ahead, next.
Next.
Monochrome B, 5 images.
2017 fire. This photo was taken in the Mark West area of Santa Rosa a few days after the fire of October 2017.
Well, this is another one with the blown out highlights. On his arm, his hair, and a few places on the vase, on the upper lid of the vase. These are like blown out, no detail. Also down at the bottom right, and at 3 o'clock, same kind of thing. So some of these images, all they got to do is be a little less exposure, just brought down a little bit when you're shooting it. And for me, if I start having that problem in a situation, I'm bracketing at least 3 shots, maybe 5 shots. And then I'll often take the one that's a little underexposed. I'm not talking about making an HDR. I don't care for a lot of that. It's not like I haven't done it. But oftentimes when I get home and I have that choice, when I'm not looking at the back of the camera, I'm looking on the screen and I've got a histogram, I can bring those other areas up and those things just aren't blown out without detail. So I think it's really critical. I mean, in the film days, there was the Ansel Adams, you know, the zone system 1 through 10, and there were certain places you didn't dare go, and digital's easy to make those same mistakes.
So something I'd like to say about this is that I'd like more of the skeletons. It's about the fire in what was left. And the trees, I don't know if somebody who wasn't involved here would have realized that those trees have been burned. So maybe if there was a backed up more and you could really see that the trees, not thinking they were just old trees or it was winter or something, but you could really see, make it more of a statement about the fire to me. And then that's what survived. I think that would even have more impact. So I don't know if it would have meant being in a different position, a different perspective, or backing up just to have more of the skeleton of the trees. And I think it would have a lot more.
Remember beauty, for it cannot last.
Well, I don't understand the title here. Do you?
No, this is one that the title kind of lost, but I like the image a lot.
And I keep seeing a cat. I see a wild cat. I see the ear up at the top right. I see the eye. I see the nose, mouth area. I couldn't help but keep seeing that when I looked at this.
Maybe it's, you know what? I bet it's water. I bet it's moving water. You know, we're seeing it large now, as opposed to when wasn't so large when we were looking at them. And it could be like water over sand or something like that, or over bottom.
I can't tell. It gets a little confusing on the upper part where you have the little shadowed areas just below that, where it starts looking a little bit smudgy. I'm not sure if somebody worked on this. Can't tell. There's also, looks smudgy on the bottom. The dark area that's diagonal at the bottom, it's very sharp, and then all of a sudden it goes to a big blur. So it just kind of looks like maybe some stuff's been done to it, but maybe needs a little more work, a little more finesse.
I think it's interesting. And I think it might also be nice as a horizontal. Turned 180 degrees.
Baroque Botanical.
Yeah, this is technically really well done.
Very nice.
And I'm not sure this is vignetting, but it's got a vignette feel that just brings you right where you want the viewer's eye to go. And the sharpness is there, and the light and shadow and the shapes and form. I mean, it's pretty delicious. Congratulations, whoever did it.
Nice. Next.
Daisy or Dinner, Lactuca sativa.
Well, it's a little busy, but the idea was there. Get something kind of abstract out of it. I'm not sure. The sharpness is, the sharpest place is down there going toward 6, 7 o'clock, just away from the bottom. I'm not sure why we want to have that be the sharpest place in it. And then everything else is going softer. I'm not sure what you were after with this.
And I think it would be even stronger if the right, well, according to our screen, the right inch was, the right side was cropped in, brought in a bit. I think it just would be stronger. It kind of feels like that right petal is kind of going into oblivion a little bit without a reason.
This dark area.
I don't mind the dark. I like that dark area at the top. Neil was questioning that, but I like that. I just think if it came, the right side came in, it would be stronger.
And I like how it goes soft up at 1 o'clock. I like that amount of softness up there. So.
But I also think, what if you flip this over? The flipping. Okay, that's interesting though. A nice eye.
Sandchild Drawing, Namibia.
Beautiful moment.
A little bit of lack of sharpness when we looked at this before. It's looking a little better tonight on the screen. That's well done. I like the lighting. I love the edge, the rim light.
Yeah.
The rim light is everything in the shadows. It's quite well done. I like it. I'm not sure about the sharpness. I guess I'd like a little more sharpness in the eye. Great
Okay.
lighting.
Beautiful.
Whoever saw this and saw that lighting, congratulations. It was great.
Okay, next.
Monochrome 5 images.
Contemplating a Letter.
I love this. I really like this. I love the whole, everything about it, except she's not quite sharp enough. And I wish she was. I wish she was sharper, but I love that. That's the only Achilles tendon.
And when I crop this with my hand, I don't know if you guys can do this, but to eliminate the tree on the right and the left, but to have the grasses, those pointed grasses, somehow, you know, she's kind of silhouetted, but then so are these trees. And so my eye is bouncing around. And when I eliminate those, but I have those sharp pointed grasses, wow, my eye just goes boom, right to her. And those things are not adding to the picture in this case, I don't think.
Well, I disagree, but I like it. I mean, I think it's another picture, but to me, they frame her. But I think that's, you know, we both have our different opinions. And I think he's right. I mean, I think it would be great without those, but I also think that they kind of frame it for me. It's the very old world looking, but I think it's really nice. Okay, next.
Clearing Storm, Mono Lake, Tufa.
It's beautiful. Time to be there. There's might be a little bit heavy on sharpening. We tend to back off from things that are over sharpened, and to us it just looks a little bit heavy on the sharpening. But I mean, it's an amazing moment in the sky and everything. And so I would just suggest that possibly you'll have the file to back the sharpening off a little bit.
So I'm not sure if this is infrared or if it's just the conversion to black and white. But what a moment. I wish I was there. It's great.
Next. Just a Kick.
No suggestions, do you? Yeah,
It's blown out.
a little blown out on the
Just to
lower
be careful
right.
of the blown out part on the lower right and the lower left. There's a couple areas, zero detail. So if you make a print, you're going to have white paper with no ink on it on those areas. It's going to be a very flat white thing, but I just love what they did. I love the shadow.
Great idea.
I love
Great
the
eye for
spike up
seeing.
in the air, the whole thing. So I think it's pretty great. This is just that foot that's up in the air, just that little white border around the shoe. I'm not sure, that might be from the lighting and it might be from some of the conversion stuff that was done. But you just want to be careful about having that on the edges sometimes. And it might be just the way the light was. But I love this. This is
Fun.
This is a
fun
great
image.
shot. And
Okay.
whoever saw this, great eye.
Next.
Uneasy Chair.
This is a really good title, but somehow my eye can't find a place to stop. And I think it's just a little bit too, I don't know, I mean, it's just a little bit too busy or too chaotic in a sense, that it's, for me, it's just hard to have my eye want to stop. And I don't know how you would have remedied that. I don't know if a different perspective or a different.
Well, you can't, if you're in Bodie, you can't move anything when you get in the building. So the writing, the text on the bottom of the seat is a little bit of a problem because you're trying to get the person's eye to look at all this stuff, but then all of a sudden you're trying to figure out what it says. I don't know. Usually try to avoid having text when I can. Just something to think about. Because you could change your angle a 2 inches and you wouldn't see that and you'd have a pretty similar shot. Or you could take out the text, one or the other. So the really strong thing on there is that big circular area in the back right. It's such a strong shape. And you've got a strong diagonal coming down, a couple of strong diagonals going across. I don't know. The lighting is well done. You see how you got a bright area on that one leg, but it's not blown out. It's just shy of being blown out, but there's detail. So maybe if this had a little more blacks, a little less of the muddiness from that mid-range color, it might make it a lot stronger because the chair, the brighter chair would pop off the other parts being darker. So there's a lot of mid-range.
I think that's it. I think it would be less chaotic then too. It would
You wouldn't have to change anything. You wouldn't have to take out anything. You would just darken other areas. So you've got almost black with no detail in a spot or two, and then a little more contrast. And I think the chair is just going to speak to this whole picture.
Speak out.
I think it's probably what the maker really was envisioning, and just didn't darken it quite enough in those places. All right, next.
A difficult read.
For sure. That's great.
I mean, there's some marvelous ways of seeing things that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
This is just great.
Beautiful.
What a fun picture. And it's so unique. I mean, I've never seen anything quite like it. Very nice.
Good. No comment, no suggestions.
I want it in my collection. Go on.
Monochrome AA, 4 images.
Lamp and doorway, Morocco.
Kind of a perfect composed photo. Good lighting everywhere. Good exposure. Shadows so strong. The dark on the door. I don't know. It's kind of delicious, guys. Very nice.
Yep.
Next.
Variations on a theme, the music of sand dunes.
Yeah, this is super texture, and it is music of sand dunes. This is all the way through. Just great. I want to be there.
It's nice. Good lighting. Good.
Half dome, dawn by full moonlight.
Yeah, we did. So it's delicious. The one thing here is that muddiness in the rock from top to bottom, and then, you know, just to the right of center. It's just kind of muddy. It would be nice to get a little something more going on right there. But it's a great shot. I'm not sure what happened to the trees on the bottom left. You all see what that looks like? It's there's those black areas, and then it's all, again, that's kind of muddy. I'm using that term muddy. Do you all understand what I mean by that? Somebody talk, say something.
Everybody's muted.
Yeah,
We hear you.
Have somebody tell me if they know what I'm talking about, because
I know what you're talking about.
there's no detail in there. It's
It's 7 o'clock, right?
yeah, and
Sorry about the 7 o'clock one.
it's 7, 8 o'clock, and then down at the very bottom, in the center, at 6 o'clock, we got the same mud, and over to the right of that, 5, 6 o'clock. So just got to take care of this muddy stuff, and what a great moment, great shot. So I think probably they were just outside, what's it called? The
Gamut.
outside the gamut. Outside the gamut of what you could accomplish without doing something else with lighting it, or lighting it by hand with a big flashlight or something. It's like when you take black and then you're trying to bring in some detail, it just turns to mud like that. Okay, next.
Irresistible.
Thank you.
It is good perspective. Very nice sharp eyes. Okay. But again, you know, like
How do you describe that?
so what I don't know if he's on a rug or something, but it's a little kind of takes away that whatever the circle of texture underneath him kind of pulls away, because you can't tell really what it is, and you want to look at that to figure it out. And he's what it's all about. So
there's the soft grayish areas, but then these in the black on the edges all the way around. But then when you get over to the ear on our left or his right ear, just below it, that all starts looking a little funny. I mean, I see those things happening in stuff we do too when we're out of the gamut. So this gamut thing's come up again, 2 in a row. All right, next.
Monochrome Masters, 9 images.
Power.
this is that power. Well, it's a powerful image. Not sure what it is that we're looking at, but some kind of a gear, something.
Yeah, and these are rods. They're
Yeah.
probably moving in the wheel. Well, it's well done. I mean, there's so many of these black and white conversions. Like you take something like this, you put it in Silver Effects Pro, and then you've got 15 versions of, and they're probably all going to look good because it's a great shot to start with. Then it's just which one you wind up with. But this works. So nice job.
And this has a lot of interesting things around it too. I mean, you obviously know what the subject is, but like the star below, all the different areas around it hold interest for somebody looking at the image too. So it's well done, well thought out, because it's got a lot of things to hold your attention.
We use the word gamut, but you know, it's pretty much dynamic range we're talking about. And this has it all. This goes from the brights to the darks and everything in between, and it doesn't get muddy. All right, next.
Out of the darkness into the light.
Beautiful. Nothing.
Oh, it's just lovely.
Lovely.
Very nice.
Nice. Nice perspective. Beautiful. I love it. As a monochrome and really nice.
So if this is strictly, doesn't do anything, nothing bad about it. It's just if I'm doing this picture on the bottom left, where you have between those two flowers, you've got that white area right on the margin, right on the edge of the print. And at the top left corner, you've got the black right there. Those are inconsistent. And you've got a white on the bottom right, you've got a white line coming down too. Those are inconsistent with this picture. This picture is of softness and light, ethereal, beautiful. And then there's this hard black thing up there. And then there's this bright white thing on the net. So the edges, we call it border patrol. And so we want you to patrol your borders and check them before you finalize everything. And if you've got something coming in or going out or sort of there but not quite there, take care of those things. Okay, next.
Little horny.
That's a great title. Great shot.
Powerful shot. I'm not sure I agree with the exposure all the way. I think the foot, the leg is perfect with all that texture and everything. And he's got all that texture, but I would love to see it toned down a little bit on some of the bright areas. And it's all workable because it's all within, nothing's blown out. It's all got great detail. This would be, again, just getting a little more, going through that zone system, like Ansel's zone system, and trying to find out what else you could do to bring in a little more depth by darkening that down a little bit. Because look at the great texture on that leg on our right. So you're going to get even more of that happening up on top too. All right, go ahead next.
Widow's Walk.
Graphic,
It is.
delicious. Yeah, it's great.
Nice.
Good lighting and all the lighting on those edges of the dark blocks that are going diagonally across there. I'm really into diagonals, so I love this. This is,
And the title's interesting in that it would make me want to seek out the person who took this and say, just what is it? I mean, it's interesting title, and then it captures my interest, and then with a picture, and I want to be able to put the two together, and I want to know the rest of the story.
well, Harvey.
Yeah, good. All right, next.
Worshippers, Lalibela, Ethiopia.
Yeah, just sharpness is the only thing going on here, just the lack of sharpness. But great scene.
Great scene, and yeah, we just wish it was sharper.
Okay, next.
Next.
I'm sorry, did someone say next?
Yes.
Yes.
Couldn't hear you.
That's okay, sorry.
Hey, some social distancing here, please.
Oh, it's wonderful. Those eyelashes are beautiful eyelashes. Look at the texture. Look at the way the light is. That this is a little more like that other one that we saw a minute ago. This is vignetted a bit, and if I was being hypercritical just for a moment, I would tone down that stick at the very bottom that's brighter than anything in the image. Just that tip of that stick. So you don't want somebody's eye going to that. I mean, you got such a great photo here.
It is.
So I would tone down a couple of those little bright little sticky things. But it's a great shot, and it deserves just a little tiny finessing on this. And I think you could enter this in all kinds of contests and probably do really well. Maybe even make some money. Next.
Unspoken.
No, again, no, this is one where the title, I just would, I'd like to know more what I'm looking at, and more, I mean, the textures are beautiful.
It's a cactus, I think.
Cactus, yeah.
I think it's cactus.
I think it is too, and the shapes and all. But I just, again, I think another title would be.
And here's one where the
the
edges are cool, the lighting is cool, the dynamic range, everything about it's technically really well done. You know, there's another group we belong to, and they just had somebody come and lecture on titles and how to come up with titles for your prints. Because the last thing you want to do is have it be a conflict for somebody judging when you're entering a contest. You want the title to bring the person right to where you want them to think about that picture that they're looking at. And if they've got to keep wavering between what is it, what is it, what is it, I mean, it might be a game you're playing with them a little bit, but
yeah,
it's not going to be in your best interest overall.
Right. There's a point where you don't want the title to tell all, but you want it to just be enough to be intriguing. But it's a well-done image, I think.
So you'd like the title to direct the viewer's eye to what you want them to see. And we could maybe help arrange you guys to get somebody to come and talk about that sometime. Next.
String theory. A trio basks in the glow.
A lot of work went into this,
Mm-hmm.
or at least it sure looks like a lot of work went into it. A lot of texture, technically perfection, all the way around. All those things we've talked about with the light, dark, the dynamic range, the edges, where things are positioned. Great shot.
Next. Is there light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah.
So whoever did this, look at the eyebrows, the lighting, just spectacular. So here's your homework for everybody. When the theater, what's it called downtown? Is it the Roxy? What's the theater called downtown? The big theater, is it Roxy?
14. Yeah.
14? Next time you go in that Roxy 14, whenever things open up, as soon as you walk in the door, look to the left and look at the portrait on the wall there.
Mr. Tusky, I think his name was. They started the theaters in Santa Rosa.
It's one of the greatest portraits in Sonoma County. It's sitting on the wall as soon as you walk in there. And this reminds me of it in some ways. This is spectacular, just great. So well done.
Okay, next.
And we'll
Now,
take
wait,
5 to
Break time.
So is it break time?
wait a
How are
second.
we doing
Wait,
time?
I want to vignette this picture and take the reflection out of his eyes.
So
So-
it'll take about a 5-minute break, 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay, good. And how are we doing time-wise? Are we okay or?
So 7:45, maybe you could probably pick it up a little bit, pick up the pace.
Yeah.
It's great, thanks.
Awesome.
Nice to see you two.
Yeah.
Can't wait to take another workshop with you.
Before any of you ever were in the club. And I still think somehow I want to stop and talk to the maker and say, what did you do here? So everybody could learn something from seeing the picture. And to know the metadata, to see what they shot it at, and to hear what they did. Did they take it into an app? Did they do it in Photoshop? Did they shoot it there? I just feel like you're all missing out on so much.
We do that at the end, but not in that detail.
And there's not enough time in a competition night, but a salon is a good spot to do that.
Salon is
Salon
great.
would be good for that.
I mean, that'd be great, but there's not enough hours in a night.
I know, but I understand. But just some time to have a lot less pictures, but more talk about them.
Yeah.
I think
We'll have you back for that, okay?
Or have some of them carried over from the
Yeah.
competition. Signal some out that you go to the salon we talked about maybe.
Yeah.
because when I've been around, it's always maybe the top winner gets talked about, where they stand up and then they get to see
Right.
where they shot it, but not usually technique and all that stuff.
Right.
Okay, enough of that. Thank you.
Hey, we're back.
It should be 2 images. Do you see it all?
Yes. There are 4,000 species of wild bees in North America. This is a wild bee from Bees and Blooms in Santa Rosa.
Wow.
You know, it's a fun shot. It's a great shot. But when you compare it to what some people are doing, when you look at Nature's Best magazine, are you all familiar with Nature's Best magazine?
No.
Are you all familiar? You can shake your head. You can do something. Let me know. Nature's Best magazine. I think you all need to check it out. It's very expensive to be a full subscription, but they usually have it at Barnes and Noble downtown, and you could go in there and look at it for free. Don't all go at the same time. When you look at Nature's Best, they're going to have I know this is B category, okay? So we understand that. But I want you to also know that you want to maybe strive for that, where you see every detail in the eye, every detail on the wing, the whole thing. Just a total difference in sharpness. This is a little more casual, and it's probably done chasing them handheld and all that. But even that can be done. Sometimes you just got to have a, faster prime lens to do those things too. And Susan just mentioned the ISO. So if you don't have the shutter speed fast enough, then you've got to raise that ISO up. You just have to, and you can't shoot this wide open because then you're going to have something sharp, but you're not going to have the rest of them sharp. You know, I go over to 9th Street and shoot those birds. You can't be at f5.6 or something like that and get an egret. You're going to have one part of the egret sharp and the rest is all going to be soft. And so to get those wings and everything, you got to have more depth of field here. And the only way you can do that is probably by raising that ISO up to 2200, 3200, something like that. And then worry about your noise when you get home. But at least you've got a sharp thing to start with. So, I mean, this is great for a B category. I doubt if when I was in B, if I could have gotten it that good. But I also want you to realize shutter speed is everything for these shots. And you must know the shutter speed before you go to shoot it. I wouldn't even start to shoot this at less than a 2,000th of a second. Does anybody have the metadata there for that one? Or we can't ask? I guess we can't ask. Okay, next.
We'll put the metadata at the end.
Yeah, okay.
Springbok antelopes near Okakuyo, Etosha, Namibia.
So this is not sharp. Needs more shutter speed to get sharp. But I have some shots like this on slow shutter speed of some buffalo doing the exact same thing. And I love the shot. And it's a whole bunch of blur and it's like that whole wild action is there and all the dirt flying in the air and the whole thing. So this is like not sharp, but it's also not slow. It's like sort of in the midst of all that. So you want to make up your mind and go for it. But a great moment.
Yeah.
Super moment.
Very nicely. Good lighting.
And usually when they're doing this, they're repeating it a lot. So you usually get a lot of chances. So then you can try the different shutter speeds. You can try it the slow way, fast way. And then you can even try it slow shutter speed and a little bit of a pan, just a slight pan to get a little more of that movement thing. And they become really dynamic. Let's go on.
Nature Ray, 4 images.
The Fibonacci sequence displayed here on the Rex begonia leaf is a mathematical expression of Nautilus shape, or the golden ratio. It is found throughout nature in shells, plants, and trees.
Yeah. That is a great concept.
It's nice lighting, well framed. Very nice. I know. No.
Next.
Sharpness, you know, I was just commenting. A little sharper in some areas. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of these tendrils. So a little higher shutter speed, and this one would be nailed also.
Next.
White-tailed kite, Elenus leucurus, known for hovering above meadows while hunting. Hovering also allows this raptor to descend into and rise out of thick cover to nest and secure its kills.
So a great moment.
Fantastic moment.
And again, shutter speed, a little faster. A couple thousandth of a second at least. Maybe a 1500th, maybe, but probably a couple thousand. I would love to know what these shutter speeds are on these. I saw them and I can't remember now, but you want more sharpness. You just need more. Go ahead next.
Next. This flame skimmer, Libellula saturata, perches on a twig. At rest, these dragonflies hold their wings out flat to their sides. They're native to Western North America.
So again, we're
It's fighting the same fight. It's trying to get sharper and
so it's not sharp enough for doing an insect like that. You want that head and the eye, and you'd like at least some of the wings sharp. And the The stump that he's on, we're talking about almost blown out without detail at the top. So your eye, the brightest place is the top of that stump and needs to be toned down. You know, one of the advantages, I think people don't think about this enough, and I hope you all listen real carefully to this one. You're shooting something like this. Shoot it a little bit underexposed. You know what that did? It kept you from blowing out, but what else did it do? It gave you a faster shutter speed. So you can always bring it up if you're shooting raw, hopefully. You can always bring it up when you get to Lightroom or whatever you're dealing with. And then you don't have anything blown out, and you have more sharpness because you had a faster shutter speed because you were underexposing. And if there's anybody that doesn't understand that, just call and talk to us and I'll help explain that. But oftentimes just get down a stop and a half, and it looks underexposed. But at home, you can bring it up and you've got everything, all your detail and more sharpness. So sometimes you don't want to go higher ISO because you think, oh, my camera can't handle it. It's going to be too noisy. So you just underexpose instead of trying to raise the ISO to get the shutter speed up all the time. Okay, next.
The gray wolf, Canis lupus, was widespread across most of North America, but hunted ruthlessly over most of its range. Today, the wolf is making a successful comeback due to conservation efforts.
So here's another one. Remember we talked about cutting off the hand? Here we cut off the foot. And I mean, their feet, their paws or whatever you call them, they're significant.
Really good part of them, but it's a fantastic get the two of them together like that.
So you've got this incredible moment. Just don't crop in so much when you take the picture. You know, give yourself a little space because these guys are moving, you're moving. Give yourself the advantage of having a little more space. Okay, next.
Nature AA, 5 images.
Sea otter, Anhydra lutrice, in Elkhorn Slough, eating fat innkeeper worm. Eureka scalpo, also commonly known as a penis fish.
Well, I guess you got the shutter speed up on this one.
Yeah.
Stop the water swirl, you stop the movement, everything. I'd love 2 catch lights in the eye. It's great. Great shot. Great moment. Hey, did you guys all see that picture in the paper of the lady? Is she in the club? To photograph the eagle?
She's not in the club.
Yeah. She was, what was it that the eagle had? It had grabbed, they were fighting over something.
An otter, river otter.
Wow. The otter and the eagle were fighting over something. All right, next.
That was one of the great photos of the year. Next.
Sharp-shinned hawk, an accipiter whose main prey are songbirds. Its short wings and long tail allow it to move quickly and easily through the trees. The orange eye identifies it as an adult.
So we love more sharpness here too. That eye isn't tack sharp. So you know what could help this picture? This one is close enough. Topaz, Sharpener AI. And do it in a layer with a mask and just sharpen only the eye and some of the feathers and the head and down along the body. And this will not look like it's been sharpened. And this will turn out perfect. This will absolutely turn out perfect using that. So it's fairly new to me, but since they came up with this AI version, it's pretty incredible. Are you allowed? You're allowed to do that in nature, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you can sharpen. So I don't know. It's pretty new. if anybody does want to get that, they could contact us. I think we have a discount code. It saves a lot of money. Next one.
The garden snail, Cornu aspersum, traverses the spines of the Aloe cactus with impunity on a thin layer of mucus. 2 upper tentacles, eye stalks, and 2 smaller olfactory ones guide the way.
Yeah, great photo.
Yeah,
Super.
beautiful.
I'll let somebody.
Never thought I'd say beautiful about a snail.
So this is delicious. I don't know. Would you do anything else?
No.
I would do one thing.
Vignette.
I would vignette. What else would I do? Well, if the maker was using Lightroom, I would hit it with dehaze, and I would only move the slider about 1 millimeter to the right or 2 millimeters to the right maximum. So tiny that you wouldn't believe it. But it'll take a little bit of that haze off the shell and off the body that came from a little bit of light flare. So there's just a little bit of light flare here from the way the lighting was. This is a great photo without doing that. Just that little touch could bring this up a couple notches, and it probably could be published in Nature's Best and all kinds of other places. But you probably need that one little detail difference with a little vignetting, and it becomes a masterful picture. Great shot. Come on.
Mara Crossing, 1 of 4. Large herds of wildebeest and other animals in Kenya deplete forage in one area and must cross the Mara River to find new pastures. This large group heads toward the river. 2 of 4. There is much chaos and confusion involved in a river crossing as the wildebeest confront swift currents, submerged rocks, and difficult terrain on the other side. Therefore, among the dangers of the crossing are crocodiles who often lurk in the water, ready to pick off unlucky animals on the edge of the herd. 4 of 4. And then there are the lions who wait on the far shore. Many obstacles and dangers, but the vast majority of the herd makes it safely across to the new food source.
Ask them how we're going to do this.
So do we comment on all of them or on one of the series?
Well, it's a sequence, so we treat it as an entire entry as a sequence of 4.
Okay, so this is AA, right?
Yeah. Yes.
AA. So we're going to expect a certain amount of technical excellence for AA. And I just have a problem with some of these where they're cut off. On the left, the right, we're cutting these guys off in uncomfortable positions. I've got on the left at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, I've got a butt looking at me. Let's go on.
You could avoid it, but.
Let's go on. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Next one.
So similar thing here. I mean, there's so much chaos going on, and it's so exciting when you're there. But I think a little more shutter speed so that you're sharper. Like the guy in the foreground, he's blurry. His whole face is blurry. His eye is totally blurry. I gotta have some sharpness somewhere. So the sharpness is more on the guy on the right. It looks like he's moving more than the guy in the center that's standing still. But the one standing still is blurry. Next. So here we're overexposed a little bit. And all those branches coming in from, you know, we talked about the Border Patrol. So this is an example of Border Patrol. I mean, you could take those branches out or you could crop.
I'm taking out in nature.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't take out?
No, it's like-
Teacher.
Can't take out.
No.
Oh, what if you don't tell anybody?
Oh, Neil.
Oh, you're a bad boy.
Well, I don't think you could have gotten, you have to be careful.
I don't know,
when
if
you're
I went
standing.
all the way to Mara, If I'm staying in the Mara River Resort, I want that shot.
I think the exposures.
The exposures, and look at, go back, yeah, please. I mean, if that had some vignetting, think of the difference in that shot.
And you can vignette for nature, right?
Shouldn't be visible, obviously visible.
If you have a visible vignette, I don't even want to talk about it. But I'm talking about not visible. All right, let's go on. It's overexposed though. And I wanted more sharpness here. So
It's an amazing moment.
this is such a great moment, but you must have your shutter speed in a couple thousandth of a second for these things. It's gotta be. Start memorizing that 1500, 2000, 3000. Yeah. You have to for all this kind of action. I mean, what a great moment. Yeah.
It is. Great series. Very exciting. Okay, next.
Hey, double-crested cormorants, Phylacocorchorus auratus, in a treetop breeding colony. Cormorant guano is toxic to the tree and will likely kill and topple it. Afterwards, the colony will nest on the ground.
Yeah, I love that story. I couldn't believe that story when I read it.
Really well done. I mean, it's very, for the possibility of the nightmare merges, you've avoided them. There's no merge between his.
Yeah, and it's and this had to be done at a fairly high shutter speed. Speaking of shutter speeds, it had to be. I know you don't want me to be that picky, but I got to be picky so you learn something. But on the far left, at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, those branches are brighter than anything in the whole picture, and they're coming in and out of the margin. You don't have to eliminate them, you only have to tone them down. I want that guy in the middle with the lightest part of his breast and neck to be where the person's eye's going, not keep bouncing over to 7, 8 o'clock. Picture's all about him. Okay?
Next.
Nature Masters, 5 images.
One of two. Delphines, or Somalia ostrich, is easily distinguished from a common ostrich by its blue neck. Common have a pink neck. This shape is in the ostrich's ear. The nictitating membrane or third eyelid acts as a windshield wiper. It allows the bird to still see, but protects the eyes in the winds and the dust of Africa, Kenya.
Great story again. And look at those hairs are sharp, detail. Look at the detail in every hair. Look at it, man. This is kind of what we're talking about on all those insects that we saw and the dragonflies and everybody. We want to see that kind of thing happen. And this is that sharp and still maintain the background out of focus. And if you vignette it, you get 2 more points.
Wow, amazing.
We got muted there. Somebody muted.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. All right. So all the nice things you said, nobody heard them. Oh my
Both
God.
really sharp, very well done. The previous two, I think they heard.
So I would bet this is a 1500th of a second or faster, at least 1,000th, I would think, since I've been there many times and know this shot. And you've even stopped most of the guys down below that are all floating around and doing stuff. So great shot. Super.
Beautiful. Next one.
2 of 2. When this happens, they lean way back and flap madly before landing, which can sometimes create some comical positions.
Yeah, so it's stupendous. Look at the sharpness on those guys, and he's moving. So this is great. A great background, great time of year. This is when I like to be a boss. A lot of people just go in the deeper winter, but when you get those colors in the grasses and you get the spring, the fall colors and all, it's amazing there. Great shot, super shot. Go on.
Nice, nicely done. Next.
Minnesota's mining bee, Encilia megandrana, a wild native solitary bee, gathers pollen on beavertail cactus flower, Puntia basilaris, during the 2019 Anza Borrego State Park Super Bowl.
Again, we're going to cry out, beg for a little more sharpness. Beautiful colors, nice position, everything. But okay, did you hear anything? We just,
Yeah, we can hear you.
okay, we got muted somehow. So just again, begging for some little bit more sharpness just to bring this up where it's really pow of an image. Is this one, oh, 3 of 5? Is there another one with this? I don't
No, this is a single. This is the third entry of 5.
Oh, I see. I see what you're doing. Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing for us that we.
But I think in Masters, you've got to have the sharpness. You just have to, all the way through. Go ahead, next.
Black bears, Ursus americanus, communicate their dominance by intimidating their opponent. Here, the older, scared bear stands his ground when confronted.
You know, this is a tough exposure, and you really did well on this exposure. Very,
Yeah.
very good.
Wow.
Again, we want faster shutter speed. This is probably 3,000th of a second you need to, I mean, this is
It's a real,
real show you were in front of.
for sure.
I mean, it was fairly fast because the water droplets are stopped, but just not fast enough for them. Next.
Female flame skimmer, Libellula saturata, perched while eating a bee.
So here the stump is sharper than the head. But the tail is sharp. So it's just kind of where the focus point was, I think, on this.
Because he was chewing. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Nice, beautiful background.
Oh, those colors are gorgeous. The magenta, my God.
Pictorial B, 5 images.
Annular solar eclipse, Palo Cedro, California, May 20th, 2012.
Interesting. Interesting way of showing an image.
Do you see the image?
Pardon?
Do you see the image?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay.
I truthfully don't understand it, what we're looking at, but it is interesting, an interesting way of putting it up. But I'd be curious to hear what was done by the person who made this. So I hope they get a chance to talk about it.
Next.
Social distancing.
Top notch, great image. Beautiful.
Yeah. Lovely.
Nothing like conceptual images.
Sharp. You're sharp. It's sharp enough.
You know, in between the two flowers, whatever that is, I could do without that, but it's still great. It's a great image. I'm just not sure why we're dealing with that smeary stuff in between. But the maker would have to tell us about that. But we love it.
Yeah. Nice. Next.
Summer evening on the river.
Not sure.
We want the bicycle to be sharper. I'm sorry, we keep saying that. You're gonna mute us so you don't hear us say it anymore. That's your center of attention. That's what you want your viewer to look at, and then move around to the rest of the beauty. I mean, the lighting's beautiful. I love the way it's seen and your positioning, but we want that bicycle to be sharper.
Yeah, your positioning, so you could see through under the bridge there and see that castle or building or whatever it is there, and up above. I mean, your perspective of where you shot it, you got to be sharp.
Yeah.
It's just way off. Next. That's sharp.
Rough.
And we didn't cut the legs off.
Yeah, well done.
You can't get his head out of there.
But that's good. See, he's nice and sharp and nothing, and it's good, very good. Like it a lot. He's going to be really, really picky. If you were going to print this or something, I'd try to take down the on the right side, that part of the, I think it's the fence, isn't it? Or is it?
Yeah, but that'll come. Yeah, but when they vignette, it'll come down.
Yeah, it'll come down.
Oh, look at the stick. Look at the stick. At 3 o'clock. Look at the stick coming in out of the
dark stick.
The border patrol just wasn't there. But it's a great shot.
It
just
really is.
a vignette and take that stick out. God, you got it made. Go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Aurora Borealis near Fairbanks, Alaska.
In a moment. Great.
And you got the star points. The point really nicely done. So it wasn't too long an exposure. Nothing under 30 seconds. Trees are a little muddy. Remember we had those trees that were muddy earlier on? It's a similar kind of thing here. And then the sticks on the bottom left, I don't know. Such a gorgeous picture. We don't need those. So maybe you had to move over a little bit more to the right to get those out and still have that tree on the left in there.
Start.
But at night things appear that you don't realize.
Yeah.
You know, the footprints and stuff like that. You don't even know they're there. All right, next.
Pictorial A, 6 images.
Floral reflection.
Well, this is a work of art. So I'm very moved by this one. I love it. Some people would say you need more dynamic range in the picture and that you should have somewhere that's darker, and you don't need somewhere that's brighter. You've got the brights right at the maximum amount that you can get away with without losing detail, but maybe a little darker stuff. But then I still love it. It's like
It's got a feeling
I don't
that
know,
I
it's-
think.
It's a beautiful painting. That's all I can
Yeah.
say. So I'm very in favor of this.
Yeah, hold it off. I wouldn't do anything to change.
Okay, go ahead next.
State of the Union.
Ha!
Very strong. I mean, does that should be on Time magazine cover? Very.
So whoever did this probably could sell this image right now for a lot of money to some editorial
Yeah, it's
place.
very, very strong.
I would start with the PD. They might give you
It's
a nice
really,
photo credit. Put that in. That's stronger than what they're shooting.
Timely, and it's well seen, and boy, it's really strong.
Maybe PD, San Francisco Chronicle, maybe New York Times, LA. I would just start sending this out. This is
Good. Great.
the timing is everything. You got to do it fast
Yeah. Unfortunately.
while you're in the midst of all this.
Very nice. Next.
Voyage of Imagination.
Interesting.
Pretty artsy with the shadows and
Mhm.
the texture and the lighting. It just all works. Excellent. Thank you. Next.
Curiosity.
Great shot.
It is. Very nice. Nothing. I have nothing to say. No suggestions for any improvement. I think it's really beautiful. Very well done.
It's even vignetted. Oh my God.
Okay, next.
Next one.
I Heart Petaluma.
Yeah, well, we've all been there, and this is a lovely shot of it. This would probably sell a bunch of prints at that River Gallery downtown Petaluma, where the people like to buy stuff that's of Petaluma. So I have a feeling
Very
this
nice.
would be very sellable at that gallery. I would take it in there and talk to them. Next.
It's very nice. I like it a lot.
Watch Me Melt.
This is playful,
Fun.
fun shot.
I have nothing to say. I think everything's good.
I like the repeat of the yellow also. So I like what you did with the colors, the textures, the whole thing. Fun shot. Next.
Pictorial AA, 5 images.
The Quilt Maker.
Yeah, super. Look at the angle that they photographed it. The depth of field, beautiful, sharp, right where it needs to be sharp. Very, very well done. Top notch. Next.
Colors of Autumn.
Yeah, this one comes so close. It's so, you know, I'm into orange and browns, and the greens are deep, really neat. The reflections on the pumpkin, I don't know. I wonder if a polarizer was used on this. If it wasn't, maybe it would take down some of that reflection. But it looks like it's polarized probably, just the way the greens look. Because you don't have a lot of reflections on the greens, just on the pumpkin. It's a great shot. Great eye, really good eye.
Composed book. You got nice. The shapes are just all circular around the brown pumpkin. I really
Even the
like
shadows on the wood. I mean,
Yeah.
even the shadows are strong. It's a super shot. You know, if there was some way to take that reflection and fix that in some way by substituting, it wouldn't be that hard to do probably. You could probably sell this to a postcard company. You'd have to fix that one leaf in the front left. You'd have to kind of build that out again where it's chewed up a little bit, because they'll want that in good condition. But if you did that and take the reflection off, I say it's a sellable image to any postcard company. Pomegranate was in Petaluma. I think they moved now. But a lot of the postcards on the racks are from them. And we've sold some pictures to them, and they'll buy it. They'll pay you, you know, they'll probably pay you $500, and they want to limit it. But get 500 bucks.
holiday.
Get 500 bucks for the shot. You shouldn't be complaining too much.
It's a nice holiday. It could be a nice holiday.
I'm
Very
positive that's sellable for a holiday card for next year. Please go work on it, or give it to me and I'll work on it and split the money with you. X. I'm very serious about that. It is that sellable an image. This is another postcard perfect image.
Somewhere in the Eastern Sierra.
This is $3.95.
Beautiful.
Owens Valley at its best. This is, I'm in heaven when I'm around there. It's one of my favorite places in the whole
This is
world.
really nice.
It's great. You know, I remember this. This didn't have a lot. This was shot at like f.4.6 or something. I was sort of amazed that the sharpness was as much as it is for the f-stop that was chosen. I almost wondered if they photo stacked it or something, because I don't think at that low f-stop, that wide an f-stop, I could have gotten all that like that. So I'd love to hear from whoever the maker is on what you did. Great shot, fabulous. belongs on some wall in some medical office tomorrow. Next.
Daybreak, Sea of Cortez.
Beautiful.
Fun.
Here's and your,
There's something up there I wanted to say something about. I don't see it. Yeah, it's real nice, you know. So this is AA. What'd you see? So AA, the birds have to be sharp. AA, the birds have to be sharp. Anybody disagree? You just need a faster shutter speed, that's all. Next. Great shot.
Yellowstone geothermal mist turns to frost.
I'm a sucker for these things. I love that. Nice shot. Just really well done. Very well done. Next. 505.
Pictorial masters, 8 images.
Springtime bearded iris, Iris germanica.
I'm on the verge of turning this whole thing off for these guys.
But these are great images.
I know.
so let's see, where were we? What's this called?
Springtime bearded iris, Iris germanica.
Yeah, well, it's sharp where it needs to be sharp, and it's soft where it needs to be soft, and it's gorgeous.
Nice.
Top notch. Next.
Rhesus monkey eating caramel candy stolen from a tourist at Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Hashtag now it's mine. Hashtags don't even think of it. Anthropomorphizing all in the photographer's mind.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely shot. Super shot. The two things on the left bug me. The two dark things. I don't know what they are. But if it was my image, I would certainly not have those two hard black things in the middle of this all soft stuff. And you've got nice space at the top, so you didn't cram it there. You don't have the whole hand in there, but you have enough. It tells the story. Beautiful. Wow, look at the lighting. Woo! Great shot. Next.
All people live in God's light, Him.
This is wonderful. We love this a lot. Very beautiful lighting, nicely seen, and just a really unusual image. Really captured our interest. Beautiful.
Super. Next one.
Break in the Storm, Waimea Canyon.
Well, what a moment, huh?
Nice.
We had a moment like that at Grand Canyon once, and can never forget it. So you shoot that now or you never see it again. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Fabulous shot. Next.
Agave Bloom, channeling Georgia O'Kee. Okay.
Nice. Nice lighting, beautiful. I like the composition. And there might be even a second photo if it were to be cropped down a bit to take out the top part with the color, just having only the soft whites.
But if you took that out, I'd still want to have the green just below it. I wouldn't want to lose that green. I think that's pretty important. Next.
Hello, Giraffe, Kenya.
cute. Love the catch lights in the eyes. Love all the detail. All the sharpness is there. Nothing like the Masters to get all that stuff in, huh, guys?
Very nice.
Very nice. Next.
Clematis.
Yeah, well, this is a fun shot. Very printable. This could make a nice print on the wall. I love the lighting in the center there, but
Beautiful.
you know, would you want more sharpness here or you don't
A
care?
little bit.
A
A
little
little
more?
bit more in the center there, but it's beautiful lit. Very.
I don't know.
gorgeous.
I'm not sure how this was lit. I would think maybe a flashlight underneath, something like that, or a strobe. I'm not sure how it was done, but I love it. I'd love the maker to tell us how they did it so we can learn. Next.
Even old cars need a wash every now and then.
Done, composed well. Great sky, great everything.
I'm not sure if this has a texture or if it's just digital noise, but it's okay, whatever that is. And the colors, scrumptious. Love the green at the top, the whole thing. And here the text is okay because it just really helps tell the story a little bit more too.
And it pulls your eye back further into the image too.
Great shot. At the end, there's another category.
Yep. So another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here we go. Creative B, 3 images. Third place. Cheryl.
I was waiting for a friend outside of the 5th Street Playhouse, and I had my new smartphone with me. And so I thought I was playing with the camera to see what, I saw some splat of paint and taking pictures of stuff. So this was just something I saw and enhanced a little bit after I took the picture.
Nice.
Great.
Great interpretation and name.
Is that right?
Woman after my own heart.
Congratulations. Second place.
It's a hell of a tutu on her.
Yeah. That's a 3-3.
So ICM is intentional camera movement.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
And apparently it's a thing now. So I took a series of webinars with some flower photographers, and one of the webinars was on ICM, which I've been dabbling in for a couple of years. So I had a great sunset and I decided to go for it.
Very pretty. Very beautiful. Yeah.
Everybody pay attention to the speed that she shot it.
1/6 of a second.
Good one, Ronnie.
Yeah, you
Good one,
you
Ronnie.
start at 1/10 and then go down. I mean, it depends on how much movement you have and the light and all of that. But there are no rules for this.
That's right. You got it.
You're great to have that top
Nice.
Thank you.
layer of the sky.
I like its minimalism.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
First place, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
All right.
Oh,
I know he gets the first place.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
Great spaghetti.
Very nice.
Mark,
Mark?
Mark, are you there? Mark?
You're muted, Mark.
You want to say something? Mark?
Maybe if you hit that little button that you can talk, huh?
Yeah.
Honestly, this is when I first got into photography and was just, you can tell by the date, and playing around with the camera. And it's probably mostly accidental at this point. I was just playing with the shutter and trying different motions. So that's about it.
More like that.
Terrific. Congratulations. Yay.
Thank you.
Mark, you were moving the camera?
Yes. Just handheld and opening the shutter and letting it go.
So you were at F29. If you were doing it again today, would you be there or would you do it different?
I think that's how I got the tighter lines on it, right? And less light coming in. So I'd probably do the same thing.
Cool.
You tell me though. You guys are the experts. So.
Oh, that's fine. I just want to know because you did that at the beginning. I don't know most people that would be moving their camera slow shutter speed for something when they're first starting out. That's very unusual.
Oh, okay.
You were very advanced starter.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations. A, 3 images, 3rd place. Ellen.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying about the title. This actually is a maple tree
Oh, really?
in my front yard. And I was watching, I was just really enjoying the light, and the leaves were blowing around, and then I decided just to move the camera with it. And that's why it's called Dancing Tree. It is a tree.
So you guys, of course, I still see the person there with their back and shoulders and head. Do you guys see that at all?
I don't see that.
But if you flipped it, would it look more like a
That's what I
tree?
was thinking, like a tutu and leg.
Yeah, it looks like a
Yeah, I see 2 legs, maybe. It's really
Look like more like 2 trunks if you rotated it.
It's really nice either way.
Beautiful
Yeah,
color.
Let's look at the metadata for just a second. F36 ISO 250. So you're trying to get to a slow speed, and that's why you close down, correct?
right.
So are you all aware of the f-stop relationship to a print size? Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
No.
Mm-mm.
All right, very, very important. The sharpest place on your lens is a couple stops more closed than the most open, or usually around f8, f5.6, f8, f11, right?
Yes.
That's the optically best place on your lens to shoot if you have the choice. So as you start going up in f-stop, the ability to make a print of any kind of larger size is gone. And if you go online, you'll be able to find a chart that tells you what the print size maximum is for each f-stop. And you're going to find out that you might be able to make a 16 by 20 at f8 or f11, but maybe you'd have trouble doing an 8 by 10 at f36.
Interesting.
Or maybe have trouble making a 5 by 7 at f36. Not that you could make the print, but you're going to give up detail on the edges, you're going to give up saturation, you're going to give up some of the sharpness. There's a lot of stuff going to be lost when you make this bigger print at f36 or 29 that we were at a minute ago.
Oh, I thought that was just ISO that was factored.
No, ISO has to do with the noise. This has to do with the pixels and the way they'll print.
Great, thanks.
So I'm no expert on it, but it was hammered on me a lot of years ago, hammered and hammered and hammered into me. So I think about it all the time. So if I could I want the slower speed. So one way would be, maybe I'd put on a polarizer. That makes me shoot 4 times slower with a 2-stop thing with a polarizer, 4 times slower. So I could get it down and still have a reasonable ISO and a much better f-stop for reproducing things. Most people aren't thinking about this stuff anymore because you're only putting them online and you don't care about a print anymore for the majority of people.
What about an ND filter?
You can do an ND filter, absolutely. But you probably don't need that many stops, and then you can't see what you're doing so well. On the mirrorless, you can see it better. But you still want to see as you're looking through there. So a polarizer would help a little bit. You could bring your ISO down from 250 to 100 or maybe 64 or something like that. And you're going to have less noise and a slower shutter speed. And then you could have your f-stop come down. I mean, these things are so critical. And I kept seeing this when I saw the metadata. So I'm glad we have a minute to talk about it. But it's really hard to break the habits of people that have been doing this for years and just shoot and don't think about those things as much. I mean, I have almost impossible to break the habit. But the way you would break the habit for yourself, your self-study thing would be the next time you go to press the camera shutter button, the shutter release button, know the shutter speed before you press the button. And everything's going to change for the better.
Now here we have 4 seconds. Nice.
This is a great shot.
Yeah, that one was mine, and it was just shooting in a totally dark room with a black background, and with my my zoom, which was 18 to 400, and just started it really close in, and then every 5 to 7 seconds I zoomed out, 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 out. And I just wanted to see what would happen.
The fact that you maintain the sharpness on the red is incredible.
It was an accident.
Was that handheld or on a tripod?
That was a tripod.
Yeah, part of it's because you were on the tripod, and part of it's because the center was aimed at those reds.
Yeah, no, that was where my focal point was there.
Yeah. Because sometimes I'll do it when I have a workshop in the grapes, when we're doing the vineyards. I'll take people out there and we'll rotate and do all kinds of things. But if we're on the tripod, that center grape will be perfect while everything else goes crazy around it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I run into a lot of that, less than flowers. Great shot. You should
Thank you. Fun.
First place, Sherry.
Sherry.
Thank you, and good feedback about the horizontal lines. That's actually a texture shot of a water tower, and I've got like 5 or 6 versions of this, and I just haven't settled on the one I like the best. So I do appreciate the feedback.
Well, I would settle with this one, and maybe just take those things out, because I mean the vertical texture stuff is great. I love it.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yay!
You did double A, 4 images. Honorable mention, Mike.
I guess I'm unmuted. That's my grandson. We're at one of these kids' places with all these balls, and I kept trying to get a photo of him. I thought it was cute, so there you go.
He's so photogenic.
Yeah. Nice. Wow.
Anybody who knows me and my grandkids, I have thousands of photographs of.
All wonderful. We know.
They're great.
Great shot.
Give him one more year and he'll want $5 to pose for it.
Congratulations.
Caught him in a weak, innocent moment.
Third place, Bill.
Yeah, I was trying to put something together here that would create a lot of impact, and I saw the bars I had in one image, and I saw this guy who's actually a wrestler in a wrestling ring, and decided to put them together. The background is from Heritage Salvage,
Oh, great.
and it was a in-camera manipulation with the zooming out very slightly when I took the photo. And yeah, I noticed the hand as well now. It's kind of obvious when you point it out. So I'll take a look at this again. Maybe I can take the original photo and leave a little more of the hand in there.
Is it
So
in the
creative, Phil.
Yeah, very nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Second place.
Very nice.
Beauty.
All right.
This is from one of our shelter in place field trips, the one for oil, water, milk, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, I had it for like paint splatter all over, all different colors. And I put those underneath so that when I shot it, the color would rise through the oil and the water and the glass jar it was in and all that. So thank you.
There's lots to look at. It's great.
Yeah.
You were-
Colors. Gorgeous.
So you chose F3.5. I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
Neil, I wasn't paying attention.
Well, it's interesting. You know, it's worth talking about that stuff for everybody. Go ahead, next.
Congratulations. First place. Mike.
Oh, gosh.
That was you, Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
He loves that alley.
I do. I take a lot of photos at that alley.
Is that Funk Alley?
Yeah, that's
Oh.
That's American, yeah.
I've been trying to learn layers, and I've been doing it in Luminar, which seems to be pretty easy for me. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. Trouble is trying to find numerous images that I took to try and put them all together and come up with something rather than some other person's photos. So I do a lot of bird photography, and I thought, well, I'll just throw him in the alley here. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
That's great.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Ours are good too. Just saw that.
Yes.
Creative Masters 3 images. Third place, Steve. Steve still here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was a single capture of recessed lighting in a department store. One of the elements of the lights was removed, but other than that, that's how it looked. Other than the exposure and color change, it was a beige ceiling with warm white lights, and that's it.
Good job.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Second place, Liz.
All right, Liz.
Thanks. This was a field trip that Tricia talked about. It was about taking books and doing different things with them and folding the pages and lights, and anyway, this is what happened.
I love this one.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes. Awesome.
Congratulations. First place, Anne.
Good.
It looks like Anne.
Does. Where'd she go?
You here still?
Maybe she's muted.
Saw her. I just saw her there, the dark background.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I muted myself accidentally. Anyways, it's my stay-at-home time, and I didn't feel too sorry for myself because I'm in the beautiful apple orchards, and there was just, the blossoms were just perfect this year, and so I was just kind of playing around to see how I could get a different look than just a straight picture, although they were gorgeous with just a straight picture. But I softened this in one of the apps blurred it a little bit. Put a vignette blur.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What app did you use to supplement it?
It's on my phone. It's an app called, I think it's called Impresso.
Okay. Well, very nice. I hope you print this on watercolor paper. Tell me how it comes out.
Yeah, maybe I can get Liz to print it for me.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's really, really nice.
Monochrome B, 3 images. Third place. Pat.
Looks like I didn't put my metadata there. Sorry. I can share that with you. It's a little dark. And I don't know why it didn't come through. Maybe it's the way I'm adding things to the app. So to your entering things in. So maybe I need a tutorial on how to get my metadata to go in. But it was in Namibia, child was drawing in the and in the sand camp, and he was just fascinating. I was just drawn to him.
See why.
He's a beautiful little boy.
Nice
Yeah.
lighting.
Yeah.
Side lighting.
Beautiful, Pat.
Thanks.
Really nice.
Well done.
Congratulations. Second place. Joel.
Susan, Neil, thank you. This is water out at Point Reyes. And I'm not sure of the depth of the water because I see sand myself.
Yeah.
But if I actually the original picture, I think it's too deep. So I just don't know. But yeah, I it and I liked it. And it's originally in color, of course. And most of the work on it has been with textures and exposure. Just about everything in Lightroom, though. Thanks.
That's amazing, Joel.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Nice
And
one.
first place. Ronnie.
Joel, did you hear Susan?
That's gorgeous.
Joel?
No.
So obviously this was originally in color. The anemone in the center was yellow, and then I think there was some anemone on the left bottom, but bottom left was red, and there's so much detail here and so much going on, and I thought I really love the composition, but I kind of want to reduce the chaos, you know, the detail chaos. So I decided to see what it looked like in black and white, and I like it.
Is it handheld?
Yes, it's handheld, and I'm pretty sure I did this in Topaz.
So you guys all see that she shot it at 1/500th of a second handheld. So that's pretty great.
It is.
Thanks.
Yeah, very nice.
Nice, Ronnie.
Congratulations.
Love it.
Congratulations, Ronnie.
Thanks, Joel.
Monochrome A, 4 images. Honorable mention. Linda.
Hey, Linda.
Oh yeah, this also is after our field trip assignment that we did. Shot it another night, a different night than our field trip actually, and that was just focusing. It was a 30-second shot, and the first 15 were on the book, and then at every 5 seconds after that, I scrolled farther away. You know, it was still the 18 to 400 millimeter lens on a tripod, totally dark inside, just kind of for fun.
Wow.
Very cool.
You were zooming, your change was zoom?
Yeah, I zoomed from just focusing on the book to going in closer. Was it in closer?
Yeah.
Looking out, going away from no, in closer, yeah. Started out and then went in on this one.
What is the book on? Plexiglass?
And no, it's sitting on my table. Well, it's on black, and then a black background behind it. It's on my dining room table.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's all black. It's fun.
Yeah.
Did a heck of a job.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Third place. Greg.
Yeah, so this is a photograph of a woman in Africa. We're in a campsite in the middle of Kruger National Park. It's a really hot day, and so she has seeked shade to stay cool. And I actually did play with the cropping on this, and I did look at it cropped down with just the grass. But I felt like I lost the mood when I did that. I just felt like it just reflects the reflective mood that this woman was projecting to me.
Yeah, I understand that. And I think, you could look at it as though it anchors the picture also. I mean, there's definitely different ways to do this.
I love the dappled light on the ground in front of her.
Yeah, in fact, I even at one point thought of taking it out, but then I liked it, so I left it in.
Thoughts?
This image is really not altered at much of any at all, just the lightness.
Of course, if we did alter it, then we'd be in first place.
And that gets a lot of money.
Next time.
Beautiful.
I love it. It's really beautiful.
Thank you.
Guy.
Yeah, Mono Lake, it is infrared. I wanted to see, you notice it's an EOS D60. That's about a 15, 20-year-old camera, 6 megapixels, converted to infrared. I think that's one of the reasons it looks a little over sharpened. I actually went back and looked at it, and there's no sharpening at all.
Really?
I think when I tried to build up some contrast, it might have blocked up a little bit, because I can see what you're talking about. That it was an absolute beautiful day. I don't know why I only had my infrared camera with me. This would have been a spectacular color photo, but I don't have a color version of it at all. So
I don't know. I think you hit the money with the infrared.
No, I do. I think it's a very.
But infrared tends to be a little softish, a little bit of an ethereal thing. So it's shocking to me that it's that sharp just from contrast, but it's
I
amazing.
noticed that with that camera. Usually when I take photographs, they are extremely sharp, particularly the atmosphere, because it'll deletes the atmospheric haze completely. It cuts right through that. So you get those spectacular clouds in the background, and they all seem quite sharp.
I'd like to see it giant.
Yeah, I actually have a print of it blown up pretty big. It looks really neat.
And it's kind of amazing that at f6.7 you were able to get the background as sharp as it is.
Yeah.
Clouds.
It was a nice bright day.
Doesn't that seem unusual to other people too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I thought it'd be f8 or 11 or something.
Right.
Zooming in with a long lens?
No, 29 millimeters.
29 is a wide angle. Yeah, that formation's only about 25 yards off of shore, so I got a wide angle shot of it. It's actually cropped quite a bit.
Yeah, it's the wide angle that allows you to get that depth of field with that.
Mm-hmm.
Very well. It's a lovely shot, man.
Thank you.
You should print that really, really big. And then when you print it, be sure you don't lose on the right where the spaces between the tufa and the margin. Don't let anything take that away.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations. First place. Ella.
Yay!
Okay, this
awesome.
This was at the foot of Market Street, and there was a model and a photographer taking photos with her. So I got lots of shots, but they were really of the whole scene, and the sun was behind her, and there were booths and people and lots of stuff going on. So I didn't like any of the photos, but looking at them, I
I saw the shadow in one. So this is I zoomed, I cropped very, very much and came up with this.
It's great. I love it.
Maybe you should call it the foot of Market Street.
I did.
Congratulations, Ellen.
What I really like is this is the third time you've entered it and you got first place. Good for you.
Yeah.
Is it the third time? I know I got an honorable mention before, but
Yeah, I thought I saw something where it showed there was, and anyway.
I think it was 3.
So that's great.
Yeah, should have won
I
before.
thought Bill and Susan might like it, actually.
The bottle of wine she sent us last week. Really helped. That's a sellable image for stock photography. You could definitely send that into Getty, and they're going to want that image.
Wow.
They won't pay you anything.
It's a perfect stock image, I promise you.
Right, Ellen.
Thank you.
AA, 4 images, honorable mention. Herb.
Am I unmuted and all that?
Hi.
Okay. Yeah, this was at the diving board where I was actually camped out that night and got up every 20 minutes or so to watch the moon come up on the side of Half Dome and the sunrise actually. And yeah, I appreciate the comment on the blacks, I guess, in the trees. So I'll need to go back and see if I can work that a little bit more. But it was great fun just being there.
I think you can work it. I think you'll be able to.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the glow is beautiful too.
Yeah, just let the trees go darker. That's all, and not try to bring it out.
Okay.
Congratulations. 3rd place.
Thank you.
Jennifer.
Oh, hi. This is the Great Sand Dunes National Park. And I just got really taken with these repeating patterns in here. So thank you very much.
Nice.
Well, you had some great wind just before that.
Beautiful.
Nice, Jennifer.
Yeah, beautiful.
Congratulations. 2nd place. Bill.
Bill's here.
He's here?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
I don't think so.
No, not that Bill.
Not here.
Okay. 1st place. Phil.
Well, that's a big surprise. A little bit of story behind this. I was down south taking newborn photos of my granddaughter, and I had a little jealous dog come up to me and want more attention. So I took a quick photo of my dog Cookie here. So that's a carpet background there you're seeing there with the lighting, and I just did a heavy vignette around it to bring attention to my little puppy.
I love her.
No, it's so cute.
Very
He's adorable.
Almost irresistible.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. That's a big surprise.
Thank you for the bottle of wine also.
Yeah. Anytime.
Macro Masters, 5 images. Honorable mention, me. The advice
Well done.
from the last time I entered this, for those who don't know, this is the Hilton Financial District, San Francisco. The image is turned 180 degrees upside down, and you're looking from down at the bottom towards the top, and through contrast and structure, normally when you look at the building, it's white cement, but I brought out what you can see are when the concrete was poured, the impressions are from the wood forms pressed against the concrete. And then each of those divisions from the top going across, those are each floor going all the way up. And it looked to me like a widow's walk.
What building is it? Do you know? Do you remember?
Pardon?
Building specifically?
Hilton.
Oh, the Hilton.
Hilton, San Francisco Financial District.
Financial, I heard the financial.
Yeah. Washington off Columbus.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great.
The border between Financial District and North Beach. Yeah, so used to have a swimming pool on top. Anyway.
Beautiful.
It's cool.
Honorable mention.
We kind of always stay at Motel 6 like regular photographers.
Mara.
This is just a picture of Ethiopia, and I like the curve of the shadow and the tree and the worshipers walking across the top. And then it had more worshipers coming out the bottom, but I cropped it off and went a little bit. Maybe I lost a little sharpness when I did that. I'm not sure.
Look, I'd like to say something here. So basically, you really didn't need F-22, correct?
No.
Not correct? You're
correct.
Using a 17 millimeter lens. So everything from about 3 feet to infinity is going to be sharp at f5, 6, 8, 11. So you're really damaging yourself to go to 22 with a wide angle lens.
I really have no idea why I did that. It was one of those, probably I had a second between the 5 million people that were swarming around me and just did it. So it's completely not on purpose.
But not just for you, for everybody. I know most professional photographers rarely, almost never shoot at f/22.
Yeah, I would say I'm shocked that that's where it was, because I probably have never go past 11. So I don't know how that ended up that way.
Oh yeah, there's times to go
But
to.
that just says we're not paying attention to what we're doing.
Yeah. See the shot and we go, oh.
Great point.
That's it, exactly.
It's great. I love that, the yin yang of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
And I would take this into that Topaz Sharpen AI, and I think it's going to solve any little problem that's there. It's going to probably just bring it up that notch.
I've
So-
never used that. I'll have to look into it.
If you do it, please let us know. I'd love to just hear the difference that you see.
Oh, thank
We have a
you.
free trial, but then if you want to get into it, I think we have that discount code. It's
That'd be great. I will try that. Thank you.
Well, Luminar has similar AI functions.
I'm pretty much boring, and all I can do is Lightroom. I don't know how to do anything else, so I'm gonna have to expand.
well, you will be able to do it in Lightroom with that, so you don't have to go to Photoshop. Okay, next.
Okay.
Congratulations. Third place. Honey.
Oh,
Oh, that's fabulous.
right.
This was shot in Utah around Escalante. We'd gone out at 5 in the morning, and this was about 3 in the afternoon, and none of us could keep our head up. I probably took about 50 shots of this guy because it was real difficult with the dynamic range to not blow out his forehead and his hair. And I ended up, I think I probably used 2 images that were pretty much the same that I shot handheld so I could get the forehead working.
Well, great job, man. I'll tell you, dashes like that, it's amazing.
I love this.
Even got the dirt on his glasses.
Yes.
Love that. Yeah, the dirt on his glasses.
He happened to have been a staff photographer for the Daily News in Chicago. And he's the only man I've ever seen that could hold a 300 millimeter steady for brackets.
Wow.
He looks determined.
Uh-huh.
Focused.
Beautiful.
Well, you get even more credit for putting those together from a handheld shots. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Nice. So good.
Congratulations. Second place, Nancy.
Oh.
Beautiful.
That is
Well,
so
this was in Laos, Laos, I think, or Cambodia. And what I really was after is the gesture, you know, like a certain simplicity of just seeing that kind of come out. And that's how I like to work sometimes in a low key look and with the heavy brown sepia, just to kind of get a sense of it. And so, oh, and I can't believe I missed those twigs. And those are gone. Don't worry. That is
Well,
that was me not paying attention.
This is a very publishable picture. You
Yeah.
should be putting this out there.
I love the expression on the elephant's face.
Oh, yeah.
Fabulous eyelashes.
You've got a lot going for you here.
The curled trunk.
Fabulous.
Curled trunk in the
Yeah,
ear.
that's
Which
awesome.
program did you do your CP in?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Nick?
Trade secret?
No, it may just, that part might have actually happened in Lightroom. I do work in SEP, and I also work in Luminar, and it probably went into all three things, but actually converting it, it may have just been a tint.
It looks a little bit like something you can get easily out of Skylum, out of Luminar kind of thing.
And it may have been, but I don't usually do monochrome in Skylum. It probably was to help bring out the different light and dark contrast, because I think I can do a good job of that in there.
But I want to see you get this published, really.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And first place, Terry.
Yay!
Thank you. This was layers and blending modes and two different pictures. One was the forest in the background, the other were the dandelions. And
They're dandelions.
dang, I did something different with it, something that I was experimenting with, and I just really can't remember what it was. But thank you for pointing out the Border Patrol. I did miss those three areas. Nice.
It's very strong and nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think it'll make a very nice large print.
Okay.
Like
Thank
a,
you.
Gorgeous.
Give that a try.
a 30 by 40 or a 40 by 60, something like that.
A whole wall. I was thinking of a whole wall.
Well, I think it's going to be stronger, larger than it would be as an 8 by 10. I mean,
Yeah, no, I think it would, I mean, in all seriousness, I think it would be a really fun wall.
How about on the side of a jail? Sorry, but
thank you for the compliment. I'm glad that you liked it also.
Yeah, very much.
Nature B, 2 images. Second place, Mark.
All right, Mark.
Thank you for the feedback on that. Learned a lot from everybody. If you haven't been to Bees and Blooms, it's out on Petaluma Hill Road. It's just a wonderful place. I've gained a lot of interest in wild bees, and so I do a lot of macro and that. And I like the lighting of the real bright, yellow going into the darker red, and this bee just captured me. So.
What lens
Thank you.
did you use, Mark?
I'm sorry?
What lens did you use?
I use, this was a 100 millimeter. USM.
I have that one.
Yeah, it's a nice lens.
Is it an L lens?
Pardon me?
Is it an L lens?
I guess I don't know what that is.
Do you shoot in RAW, Mark?
Yes, I do.
Put some clothes on next time.
That's good. But thank you for the feedback. I just, yeah, noticing the edges and shutter speed and all that will help. So.
Listen, that's pretty, it's still, you're in the B category right now, correct?
Yes.
It's an excellent shot for where you're at right now. I mean, the people that are doing that other stuff, we're talking about so many years, and so many failed attempts, and 20,000 pictures to get one that's sharpened like that. Okay, so.
Well, thank you. I've learned a lot already, so I appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
This is Mark's first. This is Mark's first competition with our club. So congratulations!
Oh, great.
Metadata came through. So it looks like the metadata came through, and I appreciate the critique on this as well. Yeah, I wish I'd had 1,000, you know, one 1,500 or 2,000. So I appreciate all the feedback you've been giving in this presentation, in the review you've done. I don't know why my metadata didn't come through on the last time. So
Was this
anyway,
was this handheld or on a tripod?
it was handheld, and I had it was a 200 to 500 millimeter lens. So yeah, no, it's hard to hold a lens that long. I understand.
It is.
But there was no place I could put a tripod. It just
Right,
wasn't an option.
No, you're usually on a bean bag or your handheld or whatever when you're over there.
Right.
But you just want to remember those numbers, you know, at least a couple thousandth of a second. That's all. Just remember.
Yeah, no, it was great feedback. Thank you.
Because your ISO was only 360. So,
I know. I looked at that and I said, oh, I could have upped the ISO. And yeah, you're right. Great.
and look we were up at on the coast this week, or the last couple of months actually. But as I go out of the house or out of my cabin, as I walk out, I'm going to turn my camera to 1600 ISO. And I'm going to have it at maybe f4 or something like that, just as I'm walking around, because all of a sudden I see wildlife. And I want to be there already. I don't want to like have to start thinking about it after I see the wildlife. Then I go over to the ocean or something and I totally change everything before I ever start shooting. Then I have a chance, because all of a sudden, if I've got to start checking all my settings, the action's all gone already.
Now, you're doing manual, not shutter priority then, right?
I'm usually in aperture priority or AV.
Oh, okay.
I walk around like that, but I'm always thinking of my shutter speed, even though I'm controlling it with my aperture. So I don't go to shutter priority. I want to know my depth of field. I want to pick my f-stop, but I will look at that shutter speed so that I know the shutter speed before I push the button. And don't think I don't make some mistakes and just get excited and shoot sometimes. But there are almost always screw-ups when I haven't thought about that timing. Almost always. Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Nature A, 4 images. Honorable mention. Guy.
Yeah, these wolves were in outside of Yellowstone Park in a zoo type thing, and I knew I was going to get dinged for cutting those feet off, but there's you can see I shot with a 200 millimeter lens, and that was as close. They were just too close. I wanted to make sure I got the heads in the shot, and unfortunately the feet dropped out. But that's the way it works sometimes. Thank you.
Beautiful. Nice image.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Your ISO's at 800, but with that 5D Mark II, you could certainly go to 1600 or 2200.
I don't have it anymore, so.
Harder to do if you don't have it.
Moot point.
What'd you replace it with?
Sony.
Great camera.
Third place, Betsy.
Yes. When I entered this, I did know, Susan and Neil, that those little tendrils were not all in focus.
Think you were going to fool us?
Pardon?
Did you think you were going to fool us?
Are you kidding? No. But I ran it through. I love Topaz Sharpen AI. It's wonderful. It didn't obviously help with this too much, but I do like that program very much. Yeah, so this was in Mexico. It was in color. It was a vivid orange, kind of what you see here being in the highlighted part. But somehow, for me, it just didn't work in color as well as it did.
I like the black and white.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, I really do. I think that's, yeah, I can, that's strong.
Thank you. And I love nature so much. That's almost all I photograph. And for me, finding the Fibonacci sequence in nature is really fun, like in the Romanesco broccoli or cauliflower.
Yeah.
I like in that and other things. So.
Well, you got a beautiful design. I mean, I love the design.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Second place, Betsy also.
This was in my backyard. And I obviously, oh my gosh, look at that. Yeah, shutters.
ISO 100 60th of a second handheld. Good luck.
Not bad though for that.
No, not bad for that. But now that we're looking at these numbers, it's so critical.
Yeah.
Before you push the button, not after. Yeah.
It was a very bright afternoon. I really didn't want to increase my ISO, but there you go. So Neil, the takeaway from tonight is shutter speed.
Yeah.
And vignetting.
Vignetting's nothing original. I mean, I'm telling you, go look at, just go to the museum in San Francisco and they're all have that in the painting. They've all done it. But you're walking around nature, moving nature with 100, your camera set to 100 ISO. So, and if you were in auto ISO, it would be low also. So you really want to you know, you want to fool your camera because the camera is thinking that all I need is 100 for this kind of lighting. But it doesn't know that you're dealing with a guy that's flicking his things at 10,000 times a second. You know, so
he was at best.
So you'd walk around with probably 1600 and you'd have a very fast shutter speed and you'd be there.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
Congratulations. First place, Greg.
Wow.
I'm kind of surprised. So actually, I did have the shutter speed pretty fast on this one at a high ISO because I was ready. I've been shooting these birds for several days, and I'd watched their daily routine, and I just had to crop this one quite a bit.
Oh, so that's part of it right there.
And I think what you're seeing, if you look at the foliage is a little bit out also. And that's just because I for this composition, I came way in on it.
Yeah, so you were handheld?
Yeah, handheld 600 millimeter lens at about 40 yards.
Yeah, 600 millimeter, tough one, man. I mean, you had the right shutter speed, I think. I really think that your f6.3, all of that is just right. And your ISO, I think all of it's right. The difference is that you cropped way in, and that's the problem.
And there is a small vignette.
But you got first place.
Thank you.
It's an amazing catch. It's an amazing catch.
Yeah, congratulations.
No pun intended.
Congratulations. Nature Doubler, 5 images. Honorable mention, Bill.
Oh, he's not here.
And honorable mention, Jennifer.
Oh, hi. If you look at the date, you see this is long before I learned how to use a camera. This was, it was a more or less a point and shoot. And not, it was a bridge camera. It wasn't a multi-lens camera. But I just felt like the story was so great that's why I put it in. Also because I've missed traveling so much. This was supposed to be a big travel year, and 4 trips got canceled already. So anyway, I just went back and found this and put it in. But thank you anyway. Yeah, looking at it, I can see all kinds of things that I would do differently now. But it's
it's very helpful for the group and for you to see that you were shooting a lot of them at 100th of a second. And so, my God, you did great for shooting at 100th of a second. I mean, it's an impossible situation, and you did very well. I mean,
thank you.
On the power shot, I think you can override that. But people that buy those and just start using them, they don't know about that type of thing. They're going with the auto. They're on auto.
Right. I'm pretty sure this was on auto.
Yeah, I'm sure too.
We know what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Tricia.
This is from a trip a bunch of us did, almost like a field trip, but not. And I can't remember the name of the
Elkhorn Slough.
Slough, that's right. So thanks.
That's cute. Look at that. That's
Congratulations. Second place. Also.
Nice.
Congratulations. This was an amazing walk with the Laguna de Santa Rosa people around, I think it's Pond D is what it's called. It was free. You just had to sign up ahead of time. And the cormorants were nesting. I'm telling you, this is like not even a third of the birds that were there. Wow. There were millions of them. And it was just really hard to get a shot that made sense out of the whole scene. Right. And then it started raining too, but anyway, thank you.
And this is local?
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy smoke. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Third place. Herb.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Oh, wow. Did not expect this. Like most of us, I've spent a lot more time in my backyard in the last 2 months and noticed these snails for the first time. And this guy crawling over a cactus was particularly interesting. And I just took it and it was overcast, so, softer light and all that. And I guess took the colors down a little bit, otherwise the cactus would have overpowered it. So thank you.
Very nice.
Congratulations. Nature Masters, 2 images. Second place. Tamara.
I've just become fascinated with ostriches like everything else living in Kenya. And I spent a lot of hours with a bunch of different ostriches, and they're just those crazy ears and eyelids, and I have them having sex, and you don't even want to know what that looks like. And sitting on, never even cared about it.
Were you on a tripod for these shots?
Nope, sitting in a Land Cruiser.
Well, that's a hell of a job at a 3/50th of a second with a 400 millimeter lens, because that's
A lot of
almost
crop sensor.
very, very hard to do.
I'm learning to handhold better, spending a lot of time on safari, and sometimes I don't have bean bags or you can't use them or whatever.
Yeah, you had
So,
great technique. I don't know many people that could do that.
Did they turn the engine off?
Usually it depends on how good your guides are. Sometimes they do. I think this time they did. I think, I don't know. Can't
great.
remember.
Really
Yeah,
good.
sometimes you have to ask them.
Congratulations. First place,
Very nice.
Terry.
Oh.
Still Apache. It's an amazing place. And very, very cold that morning. I couldn't feel my hands or anything else. But I was determined to get it. I'm surprised that I was only at 6:40. It was very early in the morning. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking maybe the light was low. I don't know. I mean, the ISO's low too. So I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, we were there in the right month. I mean, that's when we like to do our workshops, is right then with that fall color stuff.
Yeah, it was beautiful. There you go. There's 1,000. There's a whole lot better. Yeah, it's really challenging, and I am not a wildlife photographer, so it takes more patience than I have. But I was very determined that I was not going to waste all that pain.
Well, you were rewarded.
Good job, Terry.
Very nice. Wow.
Congratulations. Pictorial B, 4 images. Honorable mention, Elizabeth.
You guys probably know this is one of my favorite places to shoot. It's the Richmond Bridge. And Neil, you asked a question about where the file had been, and I'm starting to realize that I've moved this photo from my phone to my Mac to the cloud and then out again. And so I'm losing a lot of my resolution, but it always reminds me of what Richmond looks like in the summer evening. So thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
Congratulations. 3rd place, Pat.
Yeah, this was a trip we took to Alaska, and again, my metadata didn't come through, but I had a 1424 lens, shot it at 24 millimeters. It was a D600 at that time, and it was shot in 2014, created in 2014, so this is not quite right. I need to get better at how I deal with the entry information. And it was an f2.8 for about 4 seconds, and ISO 3200. And it was cold, very, very cold.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, it was an incredible evening, just truly beautiful.
And where were you? In what country?
Fairbanks, Alaska.
Fairbanks, Alaska. Wow.
Gosh.
Gorgeous.
It was 2014 when there was more of an opportunity to see the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis. Yeah.
Congratulations. 2nd place, Joel.
Italy, we saw a dog.
Thanks.
And,
Italy, we saw our dog,
most of
and
the work
yeah,
on
it's
in
most of the
Lightroom.
work on it is in Lightroom.
But I was amazed
But
at
I was amazed
how
at how sharp the picture was when I saw it.
Thanks.
Thanks.
She's so sweet.
Great, Joel.
Congratulations. And 1st place, Ronnie.
Oh, wow. Well, that was unexpected. Yeah, so this was taken at the beginning of the shelter in place when I wasn't really sure how long we were looking at, but I think that's when my poppies started popping, and they had the most amazing stems. And so I started playing around with them, and this is what I came up with. As far as the dark area in the center, so I did this in Topaz, and this was a preset. And I played around with the modes, but I kind of liked how it was kind of like a reverse vignette. You know, it had the blue around the edges, and I liked it.
I like it too.
We like it too.
I really like it. I love the lighting on the stems.
You got first place, but we didn't do a little too much on the middle part, did we?
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great title.
Pictorial A, 5 images, honorable mention. Rick.
All right. This was taken at one of my favorite places, the Santa Rosa Flea Market. It was a little wooden model ship that somebody was selling. And it was the whole little ship was about, I guess, 18 inches long. So it had interesting detail. But
Well, you sure made it look large, didn't you?
what's that?
Made it look large, the angle and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it kind of reminded me of something that ought to have been on the cover of Jack London's Voyage of the Snark or something. So that's why I call it imagination.
Oh, interesting.
You know, there's a magazine called Wooden Boat. You could send it into them; they might publish it.
I'll remember that.
It's a very big. It's a very well-known in the industry magazine, and they put things like this in there.
Okay, thank you.
Winslow Homer.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Honorable mention. Betsy.
Wow.
Yeah. I just love the look on its face. This is a caracal cat. And they are by nature secretive and curious. So I like how that was being demonstrated here.
So where did you shoot this?
This was at a place called the Living Desert outside of Palm Springs.
Oh, it's a wonderful place. Wow.
It's beautiful there. Their conservation efforts are amazing. It's a beautiful place.
Betsy,
Yeah.
Betsy, I want to let you know, I think this is one of my favorite pictures I've ever seen.
Wow.
It just speaks to me. It has such a subtle, seductive look. You need to do something. Maybe, you know, whether it's on the wall or a whole bunch of note cards. I'm so touched by this, and I want to let you know that.
Gorgeous. Nancy, can you talk more about what it is that touches you? Please.
It's a surprise. It's usually I'm all for bold and contrasty. There's just something secretive. I know something that it's the ears are unexpected, and it's sexual, and it's I don't know, but and then how it just sort of it just sort of blends in, and there's something that I can't stop looking at it.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you.
Sounds like you need to make her a copy.
Listen, the place she shot that, everybody should photograph there if you get the chance.
I got some bonus supply of pictures there, actually. They're beautiful, the curves.
Where was this shot?
The Living Desert. The Living Desert, Palm Springs area.
Oh, okay, cool.
I agree with Nancy. There's an amazing economy of light tonality, and there's an amazing economy of color. And it sort of comes together like a fugue and just does a wonderful job visually.
Thank you, Tony.
So that place is somewhere you all want to go shoot. And I'm going to tell you one more place that maybe some of you have been to, but it's the Outdoor Museum in Tucson.
Yeah.
That's
That
fabulous.
place is amazing.
Have some of you been there?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And when you go there, here's the secret. You can pay some money if you call ahead of time and say you want to go in before it opens.
Oh,
Yeah.
good to know.
And then you can go in with the hummingbirds and some other places that are there without other people, and you'll get the shots of your lifetime.
That would be nice.
That's good to know.
Sounds like a workshop.
Field trip.
We do that too.
Field trip.
It's a fabulous place, one of my favorite.
Oh, my God.
Ours too.
Congrats, Betsy. Love it.
That's beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. Means a lot.
Sherry.
Hey. Oh, well done, Sherry.
Oh, thank you. Well, we love Petaluma, and I'm trying to see which. Yeah, so I got the 35 was a new lens to me, and I went out for a walk just to try it out.
Oh, nice job.
Oh. What time of day was this?
Evening.
Oh, so that's so you're because you're facing east, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got that reflected light. Wow.
Yeah, and you can see on the hills behind it, it's really sculpting the hills because
yeah. Gorgeous.
Sherry, are you related to the Walt Oster family?
Yes, his son is sitting right next to me.
Hello.
Hello, I used to play music with him.
Oh,
With
the
Walt.
name.
Neil Silverman.
Oh, Silverman. Yes.
I used to play music with Walt.
Cool, man.
Yeah, well, we miss him a lot. Yeah.
Something else. Special guy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations. Second place. Linda.
This is so beautiful, Linda.
My goodness. Well, it shot that on a mirror and with a white background in the living room. I mean, we're desperate. Shooting inside. And then used a topaz treatment on that.
Well
What
done.
treatment?
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
What treatment?
F32.
Let's see, because I did it at f32 because it was my 100mm macro.
Yeah.
What
And
treatment?
I needed a little bit more depth of field on that. But
That one, the sketches.
the treatment was, oh, you know, where all the artists and things like that.
Simplify.
No.
Impression?
Impressions, yes. Was Topaz Impressions. Yeah, thank you.
It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful, Linda.
Send that to Topaz.
Yeah, definitely Topaz.
Why don't you send that? Why don't you email that to Topaz for them to see?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You might get something in return because they can use that in some of their teaching things. The brochure.
Yeah, no. Love Topaz. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Great.
Oh, that is.
Ray.
Okay, well, this flag
Oh,
is
yeah.
actually at the top of Fountain Grove Parkway, right in the middle of the burn zone that destroyed our home in Santa Rosa. And I drive by this location. I've literally driven by this location hundreds of times as we're rebuilding our home. And this is actually one of several flags that's gone from new to old over the time of several months. And then the owner comes out and they replace it. And they replace it in the same location. And it starts out as a new flag, which to me represents hope. And as time goes by, it just gets worn and tattered. The wind blows up there. There's a lot of weather that comes through. And I've taken a lot of photos in these different stages of wear. And so at the end of life, it kind of represents despair. And I'd like this photo to really represent that emotion. But as I was looking at it, it also represents kind of the State of the Union where we have such a bipartisan divide.
Mm-hmm.
And the flag is ripped in half. And it's grasping at the dead branches for support.
Yeah.
And I see the dead branches as symbolic of our current administration.
Yes.
And the flag just doesn't have a place to rest.
Yep.
So we need a change. And
You
that's why
nailed it
I titled
so
it State of the Union.
You nailed it so poetically.
Yeah.
That's how you got first place.
That beauty.
Yay,
you.
Greg.
Really expressive.
Good job.
Powerful.
Magnificent.
Would like to see a series.
Yeah. Of all,
Greg, even without your explanation, it says it beautifully.
Yeah.
And there's no question in my mind what that was about. It was so beautiful.
exactly.
You should send that to the PD.
Really well done. Yes. Good idea.
Thank you. I appreciate the feedback on it.
Congratulations.
See it on the cover.
Pictorial AA, third place. Bill.
Took that just early this year, just before the pandemic hit. I was in India, in Jaisalmer. A very busy marketplace, and I worked for a couple months trying to figure out how to crop this properly to just focus on the subject of the image. Last month, there were several images that were using this vertical wide angle crop. I thought, that's it. That's how I can do that picture.
The expression is priceless. It's great.
Wonderful. Lines, colors, everything.
Yeah.
Depth of
Thank
field.
you. Congratulations. Second place. Herb.
Yeah. Woo. Another beauty.
That's a beautiful shot.
Am I back?
Yep, you're
This
back.
was, I guess, an opportunistic grab. We were actually camped in the truck on the beach and in Baja, and saw this scene, and didn't do much except reverse the birds there, which I knew were a little soft, but I was hoping that the overall impact would not be a problem with it anyway. So thank you.
Yeah.
Where in Baja is this, Greg? Or Herb?
I'm sorry?
Where in Baja?
Where in Baja? Bahia Concepcion, or the beach was El Requesón, I think. El Requesón. And it's one of there's a lot of beaches there you can just pull up on the beach, and some of them are really crowded, full of.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, really gorgeous.
Lovely layers.
Congratulations. First place. Mike.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah, another one of my favorite places out there in the Eastern Sierra. The color was just amazing. And, I guess I did shoot this at f5, and I was using I guess I had a 70 to 200 on there. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, the colors is what brought that tree to my eye. Thank you very much.
Is that just north of Linda's?
I think it was not far from Bishop, as I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Owens Valley all the way, man.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you.
I want to go back.
I know, me too.
I want to go anywhere.
Pictorial Masters, 4 images. Honorable mention. Connie.
Nice.
Beautiful.
This was shot
Great.
in southern Illinois a week after I left the company I started and decided I'd start a new career. It was one of those days when we must have had 6 different thunderstorms come through where you couldn't even see out the window, and then it would clear up afterwards. It was just amazing time to be shooting.
Beautiful.
Very cool. So
Really
many good parts.
Yeah.
Congratulations. 3rd place. Steve.
Wow. It's really a good picture. It's an amazing image.
Oh, good.
You there, Steve?
Steve, you're still there? He's not.
He's not there, but let's look at his f-stop, F9, perfect. So this could be blown up big, and, you know.
Probably had a tripod.
Oh, he's got a 17 millimeter lens, so he wouldn't have to have one. Trish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Congratulations, Steve. 2nd place. Nancy.
I was just texting Steve. Oh, great, thank you. As many of you probably know, you've seen me with these monkeys. I just love finding this feeling to the eyes. There's certain humanity in them, and they're usually huge crops. Now, I did stop and think, Silverman's rule of thirds. I'm not right. And I tried cropping and I go, no, I have to stick to my vision because this is where it should be sitting. And I always cut off parts. Usually I cut off tops of the heads, but I like that little Martin Short thing. But it just, so it is what spoke to me, and thank you.
Love it. Very nice. Beautiful.
Someday I'll do a portrait of you, and we'll take these eyes and put them on you.
I would love that. Hey,
Oh, no, please.
I steal that idea.
That could be very
Hey, we were in Kyoto, Japan, and we went to this area up on the top of a mountain where they had all these monkeys. And there was a sign as we were walking around that said, "Don't stare at the monkey.
Don't look at them.
Don't look at the monkey."
Really?
And we were walking around and photographing him and doing stuff, and then all of a sudden I looked at one, and you cannot believe the reaction. It was frightening. It was frightening.
Did it jump in? That wasn't the snow monkeys and
No, we were there too, but no, this wasn't snow monkeys. But this monkey gave a look and like a charge and the whole thing. They had all these big signs. Don't look at the monkey. Well,
I couldn't understand why. Why can't you look at the monkey?
Don't look at the monkey.
I'll never forget it. Susan won't forget it. You can, I don't know. You can see it in her face, man. If you're ever in Kyoto, don't look at the monkey.
American tourists.
Yeah, that's right.
I could see it with a lollipop.
Yeah.
Is that his tongue?
No, that's the
lollipop. It's like a lollipop. It's a caramel. They like steal they were just grabbing people's food. And usually it's very scary with monkeys because they bite. But we just watched them go after mostly the Asian tourists who would actually have their kids like reach out to touch the monkey. It was just scary. I know, like, we wanted to go to Lopburi in Thailand. Lou Jean was there with Fair. Many of you know Fair, who's her Thai granddaughter. She got bit, and they went to the hospital and they told her if a certain bacteria, she could die.
Oh, yeah.
They're very scary, but here there were enough stupid people that we were able to just take a few hours and just shoot.
Well, there are other targets, huh?
Exactly.
We had the same situation in Bali where we were in the monkey forest. And we had food in our backpack.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I had no idea. They jumped on our back and they were digging through the backpack. Scared me to death. And these darling little old ladies ran over and got rid of the monkeys. They knew exactly what they were doing, but I couldn't believe it. I mean, you couldn't even see the food. They knew it was in the backpack. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Really
Scary.
Yeah, it can be.
Very nice.
Congratulations. First place, Tony.
Beautiful.
That is gorgeous.
This was this was shot on a workshop we did in Iowa near the Quad Cities. And I had to go up a narrow stairwell to the second floor, and I sort of had to rub my eyes saying, what are pews doing up here? And then it probably took about 10 minutes to figure out how to shoot it. And then another 10 minutes to get my tripod set up with one leg on a pew, one leg on the banister, and one leg under a piece of hay. And I shot a whole load of these. The light was just magical.
It's a study in light. It is a study in light.
It was just amazing, and I did very little else to it.
Tony, I thought this was Bodie, California.
No, this is about
The old church up there.
Yeah, this is about 25 miles northwest of the Quad Cities.
Really powerful.
Very.
Light. I love your title for it too.
That was the hardest part to do.
Right?
Always.
Particularly timely.
Thank you very much, Silvermans. I learned a lot, and thank you for giving me the prize.
Congratulations.
Thank you for the wine.
And
Bribery works every time.
are we ready?
Ready.
Yes.
Congratulations, Greg.
Finally, a horizontal image for our Facebook cover.
Yay.
Well, I'm hopeful that all that's going to change here pretty soon.
Oh,
Oh, amen.
keep our fingers crossed.
That really,
Your lips to God's ears.
that was a very strong, I mean, just perfect. And your title and everything was perfect.
It wasn't easy deciding on some of those.
Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Silverman.
Silverman.
Yeah, thank
Great
you.
as always.
Thank you.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
See you at Jack London.